Hey, it's the holidays, and maybe you're planning a vacation. Maybe not now, but maybe you're already thinking, okay, well, I got to get through the family part. I got to get through the holiday part. And then in January or February, I can take an actual vacation and rest. You know what I mean?
I'm looking forward to spending Christmas with people I love.
That's not that, Steve. It's the fact that it's rarely restful. And so if you are going somewhere and you are looking to rest, Saley, you should use that to not only encrypt and keep your information safe, but also save a bunch of money on your cell phone plan by avoiding roaming charges. Right, Jesse?
Yes, Saley is great. They have great packages for like literally everywhere in the world, except not literally, but most of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you want to go and get a pretty cool deal, you could go to Saley.com/dangle. You could get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley data plans. The promo code is dangle, DANGLE. Use it at checkout. Download the Saley app or go to Saley.com/dangle. Get yourself encrypted because it's backed by Nord Security, and also get yourself a discount on roaming plans because who the heck wants to pay those? Right?
Right.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wild, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! Wow, well, it was quite the weekend, and it started Friday night. Steve Dangle and Jesse Blake did a quick recap on the Quinn Hughes trade. And we're going to have an even bigger quick recap with Christopher Johnson. Actually, it's not going to be quick at all. It's going to be a bit of a segment. Of the Christopher Johnston Show. Have you ever heard of that? That will be coming up in about 20 minutes here. In the meantime, though, there's a couple of things that we got to hit first. And it's not going to start with the Leafs. We're going to start with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I know already that people are pissed at me. Because
we didn't talk about Jacob Fowler getting his first career NHL win against Pittsburgh.
That's great, but it wasn't that.
No,
I was riding the Fowler bus real hard, and Adam just put his Ford F-150 right in front of it and derailed the bus.
Listen, it's good for any weather, any terrain, including derailing Jesse. Jesse, it's so funny that you told the Jacob Fowler story last week before he got his first start, because it's exactly what Hockey Night in Canada did, and they showed the clip of him.
Actually?
Yeah, and they showed the clip of him going like, listen, like I was not made this team and it pissed me off. And I was like, I'm watching this kid talk like this in his interview with, I think it's from that Crave show, the what do they call the Montreal show? What is it? The Rebuild?
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter.
One of their behind the scenes shows.
You have to believe it.
You have.
That's what it's called.
That was really good.
It is really good off the top of your head.
You have to believe it.
But I'm watching this kid who's like 17 or 18 years old talking to the
That's the title of the show, by the way.
And he's like Tony Robbins, but in the non-grifting way. He is literally I was like, oh my God, I would run through a wall for this not even a man. For this child.
Described a scout talking about him and teared up.
Yeah. I love competitiveness because I love sports. I love competitiveness, and I love athletes who are the ultra competitive amongst the ultra competitive.
Yes.
And Jacob Fowler seems that way. That's why I'm so behind this kid. I think he's got it. I think he's got the right mentality, and you start with that, and then you build down from there, and then you hopefully can back up your skills with the mentality. But I think he's a winner.
Oh man, he sure seemed like it. And he won. How about that?
Yeah.
But what I really wanted to talk about was the Pittsburgh Penguins. Don't worry, you're not getting away from
Pittsburgh Penguins, who tie into Jacob Fowler's first win because Patrick Waugh, Ken Dryden, and Carey Price all got their first career starts and first career wins against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jacob Fowler also did that. How does history just repeat itself in those ways?
To be fair, Ken Dryden and Patrick Waugh played the Penguins pre-Mario Lemieux. And everybody beat the Penguins pre-Mario Lemieux.
The Blue-Gwins.
Yeah, they were the Blue-Gwins.
They still
awful.
count in the W column.
That sure did. Wouldn't have been that hard. They were awful until Mario showed up. Now, Pittsburgh Penguins this season off to a hot start, but this weekend is crazy because they were, this is a team, ultimately, if Pittsburgh wants to make the playoffs, they should beat the San Jose Sharks. And as a Leaf fan,
LMAO.
Woo! Anyway.
The Sharks got 10% of their wins last season against the Leafs.
Yeah. And
they don't play in the same conference.
And guess what? This season, the Leafs also just recently lost to them. So I'm saying this knowing full well that happened.
Blowing a lead.
Home. So they're back-to-back at home. And the other team they're playing is Utah. Another team like Pittsburgh had a hot start and then has fallen off a cliff a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of fantasy darlings in October are now just kind of guys.
I'm needing JJ Peterka to pick it back up again. I'm desperate for JJ Peterka to do that.
Remember Schmaltz scoring 3 points a game?
Yeah.
It's weirdly unsustainable.
Wow. And it's so weird that he's now not featured as one of the prominent UFAs next year. Strange.
Nuts.
But so here's what's so interesting about what happened, because I turn on the game. I literally turned on the third period of the Penguin Sharks game because we had just got home from seeing Santa Claus.
Wow.
And my daughter was like coloring. My wife was working. I'm like, well, Hockey Night in Canada is not on yet, but it's the game before that. So I'll just watch the third period. And imagine my shock and surprise as the Pittsburgh Penguins go from 5-1 to 5-2 to 5-3 to 5-4 to 5-5 and lose the game. And then the next day are up 3-0. And then it's 3-1 and 3-2 and 3-3, and they lose in overtime. And what's crazy about this is they both happened in the third period on back-to-back nights at home.
At home. And they get 2 points out of it.
Yeah. Hey, good for them.
It's not a good lead.
Can I give you a stat?
Give it to us.
This is from Adam Gretz. When leading by 3 goals or more after 2 periods this season, the Pittsburgh Penguins are 2-1-2. That's 3 losses.
Crazy.
The rest of the NHL is 73-0.
What?
That is psychotic.
Nobody in the league has given up a third period lead after leading by 3 goals or more, and the Pittsburgh Penguins have done it 3 times.
Now,
I'd love to know who the goalies were for all 5. I know Seelov's was, 2 of them?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe Jari. I don't know. I have to go back and look at that.
Hey,
wow.
There's a play in particular I would like to highlight, though. Did you guys see the John Klingberg goal? And did you guys see the John Klingberg celebration? You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, my God.
Did you see John Klingberg undress Sidney Crosby like it's 2018? Vintage John Klingberg is back.
Listen, Crosby is nowhere even in the same continent as Cooked. He's not. I haven't seen anyone tug on Superman's cape that hard in a long time.
Look at this celebration. That is John Klingberg and Macklin Celebrini looking at Sidney Crosby. Now,
John Klingberg has 7-7, by the way. 7 goals, 7 assists.
Now you talk about a fantasy darling.
You know what's just as fun as looking at Klingberg's face? The reactions of the Pens fans in the crowd. You see this woman, man here, this person here, I can't really tell, but their hands over their face. This guy, hands in his face. This person turning around to the person behind them. What the fuck just happened with the hands in the air?
Winter Classic right next to Crosby's head, on the right side of his head.
This one? Yeah, this guy head leaned back. Oh my goodness, not again. This is just a painting of a photo.
That is, you got to have that in your basement when you retire, right? That's got to be the photo of John Klingberg's career.
Is that one guy picking his nose?
I think he's scratching his face because he's so
jersey?
perplexed. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
He does look like he's picking his nose, but you're right.
This hand over here. That's why I oughta.
How about Buddy next to Klingberg? He's already getting up.
This one getting up to leave, maybe.
Yeah, I can't tell what jersey that is. He's already getting up. No time to process. We're gonna raw dog life and just not deal with this one.
Jesse, I sent you the NHL sort of recap thing. I'd like to go over this because I think this is like we didn't see this John Klingberg in Toronto, but he only played 7 games.
Right.
I don't think Edmonton saw this John Klingberg, but it seems like San Jose John Klingberg is having a good time and enjoying the fact that he's got a really fun young group that have admittedly been up and down this year.
Sure.
But more up lately than down. And, you've got guys like Colin Graff stepping up and having 3 goals in 3 nights.
Really good.
You've got Macklin standing up for Will Smith after a bad hit. Macklin Celebrini fought someone.
Awesome stuff.
Crazy. And then you have this, and this is Macklin Celebrini setting up John Klingberg, but John Klingberg makes this goal happen. And what's so incredible is that this is a guy that was never supposed to play again.
Oh, I thought he was done. A plane ride took him out. People forget that. A plane ride took him out. All three of us saw him play in person, Leafs Canucks. Then he took a flight with the team to Sweden for the Global Series. He never played another game in a Leafs uniform. His hip was messed up.
It's crazy.
A plane ride took
surgery done, and then doesn't come back until the following, early winter?
He didn't get surgery done for a while, though. And I remember a story being, we're all like, well, Klingberg's Swedish, so he's going to be in the lineup in Sweden. And then he wasn't, and we're like, okay, he must be hurt, but they're not really disclosing it. And
How like them?
yeah, he was in the locker room, like he was getting interviewed in a stall. I remember all of that, and he never played again. Never played again. So yeah, forgive me for thinking he was cooked.
Jesse, let's have a look at this. Can we have a look at this play? So this is, by the way, John Klingberg has been past the puck at this point. You look at him; he's at the blue line. And he's got Letang covering his direct route to the net. And so he decides to go across the blue line and gives Macklin a little bit of space so he can pass it to him. And the guy coming at him is one of the best defensive centers of all time. And that's Sidney Crosby, right?
Just one of the best players of all time.
Just incredible.
One of the best players currently, which I think is a part of this conversation, right?
Yeah. So let's have a look at what happens next.
He skates.
Crosby's gapping up him as he should, and Klingberg waits for him, puts it through his legs, and now he's got a wide open path to the net.
Oh my God.
And backhand pass to Celebrini, who does not shoot, gets it through another stick because the Penguins do come back to cover, and Klingberg absolutely buries it. Unbelievable play. Unbelievable.
Man. John Klingberg. Like, John Klingberg.
John Klingberg.
John Klingberg. Like, when he scored that high bomb against the Leafs to tie it, I was like, well, yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, sure.
This?
Crazy.
Oh, my goodness. I had to check my calendar.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I didn't know what year it was.
I don't think it goes through Crosby's
Oh, it doesn't go through his legs. It goes
No, it's worse. It just lazily goes through the triangle there.
There you go. Yeah, just
what are you doing?
under his stick and outside of the foot there.
Is that a miscommunication between him and Letang? No, I think it's just him getting beat real
It's
bad.
3-on-3. It's a little tricky.
It's even worse, Jesse. It's 2-on-3 because the Sharks were changing.
It's a fantastic play by Klingberg. There's
It's
no
real
doubt
good.
about it. And the little back and forth too, underrated. Macklin going right back to him for the slapper for the winner. What a moment for Sharks. I don't know if the future's teal. The present might be teal.
Yeah, it's sure seeming that way. And it's funny because the Sharks have their top defensive pair is Orlov Klingberg, right? I actually thought, I was surprised they weren't more in on the Quinn Hughes thing because I feel like he would have completed their lineup. But perhaps they need to be further along in the development curve.
Yeah, you can't. First of all, if I'm Quinn Hughes, you're still committing to a rebuild there. And also, some teams can pull that trade off without a guarantee of an extension. The Sharks can't.
No, absolutely not.
You do that and he doesn't extend, you've done it for no reason.
That side of the world seems like where he wants to be. Minnesota's, I think family's in Detroit.
Yeah.
Brothers playing over in New Jersey. He's in Minnesota. That seems like a good little area that he could potentially re-sign in.
We always underestimate how long the continent is. It's far.
It's big.
It's a big continent. Anyway, long story short, incredible. And then yesterday, obviously against the Utah Mammoth.
That's just the first one.
It friggin' happens again.
Come on, Pittsburgh.
I said this about the 16-17 Leafs had a huge problem with this. Some of it is you just don't know how to defend. And
They were young and not good
yeah,
on defense.
some of it is you just don't know how to defend. I'm sorry. The rest of the league is 73-0. You're 2-1-2 in these situations. That's mental. Some of that is mental.
Coaching?
Could be. Is Dan Muse coaching in such a bad and irrelevant way, that the rest of the league is 73-0 and the Penguins are 2-1-2?
I think it's a conversation to be had because we played the clip a week ago now when he got defensive about the guys he put out there in those moments.
So one thing you got defensive about, wasn't it?
Yeah, the team didn't get defensive.
Whoa.
He got defensive having Erik Karlsson out there. And Adam, you questioned it. Is like, Dan Muse is up there saying these are the guys I got to trust in this situation.
No.
Are these the guys you should be trusting?
Nope.
Maybe there's something with the deployment he's using or just not having the team playing up to the standard it should be just to hold on to fucking leads.
Like 3-on-3 is 3-on-3. Like, I don't want anyone to get caught up in, that we're criticizing that goal. No, they allowed 3 goals in, I think it was 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Like, it was 5-1. They allowed 1, but then they held the fort for like another 10 minutes, something like that. 3 goals in 4 minutes and 3 seconds? At home?
Mm-hmm.
No. That can't happen, and it definitely can't happen thrice. Which it has, by the way.
Do you think that Dan Muse would sell one of his children for a win?
Oh, no. Oh, who was that? That was Ryan Warsofsky?
Warsofsky from San Jose.
Listen.
Or at least hold a third period lead.
Oh, no. Is that how they did it?
It might have been.
Oh, man. How did they come back? We haven't been asking the right question.
We need to ask where his children are.
Oh, no.
This was Dan Muse after the Sharks comeback win on Saturday.
Obviously, not an acceptable third period, I'm sure, in anybody's eyes. I guess my question is, from your point of view, what happened and why does this keep happening and what can you do to fix it?
Before he answers, they ask, why does this keep happening? It happens again less than 24 hours later.
I was about to ask you, which one was this?
San Jose.
This is the San Jose one. And they're like, why does this keep happening? And then he's going to answer here, but it has happened again by the time we're existing here in this reality, and he doesn't know it yet. On his face, he doesn't know that this is about to happen to him again.
Please tell me
next night.
The next words out of his mouth are, I guarantee this doesn't happen again.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's
that pause. The beats.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What was that?
What happened and why does this keep happening and what can you do to fix it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
7,
it's
8.
It's clearly, and you can go back not just this recent stretch, but other games earlier in the year. Like, obviously, we have to be better closing out games. Like that doesn't need to be stated. I think it's something different every time. I don't think it's always the exact same thing. The common thread is we play one way for the great majority of the game, and then sometimes it's a 1-goal lead, 2-goal lead. Like it's been
3
different situations, but the common thread is
5.
we get away from what works. Sometimes it's a little structurally we get away from what works. Sometimes we just put ourselves in bad positions. Sometimes we've taken poor penalties at unopportune times, given them momentum, and we haven't done nearly a good enough job of gaining that momentum back. And we then look like a different team. And so I'll take responsibility on this too. There's been enough of them where I'm not. Believe me, it's all of us. We have to be better with it on the ice. I have to clearly be better because it's happened a number of times now, and we'll find a way to. It's cost too many points up to the already.
All right.
That's a coach out of answers. Holy cow!
Well, he doesn't have the personnel, man. Like, listen. The reality was in the Karlsson situation, which he was not on the ice for this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the guy you put out there. That is just not the guy you put out there. And that is at this point in Erik Karlsson's career, even at Erik Karlsson's peak, I'd be like, don't put him out there. That's not what he does. Put Mark Mathot out there. That's what he does. I think with Brett Kulak added to the fold, especially if they want to pump and dump his numbers, get something significant for him at the trade deadline if they're not going to be in it. Man, what a great opportunity for Kulak to step in and be a bit more of a shutdown role for them. But first off, I listened to him and I'm like, he sounds like a young Mike Babcock. he's got a little of that accent that you're not really sure where it comes from.
A little bit.
But beyond that,
your phone.
is this? Oh, by the way, is this him the next day?
Yeah, so if you want to hear the Utah one, I can play the
It's the
Utah one.
same suit but glasses now. That's the only thing that's changed. All right.
You want to hear
Go,
it?
yes, please. What are we waiting for?
Dan Muse, after once again, Pittsburgh blows it.
Dan, just how do you fix this in terms of the multi-goal leads surrounding them late in the games?
Oh, it's even longer.
First of all, like,
Count it again.
Count it out.
Oh my
We
God.
got to do
Oh
it
my
wrestling style.
Every time they blow a lead, the pause gets added a couple seconds. They add a couple seconds to the pause.
Got to do this wrestling style. Play,
All right.
play it.
The games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
first of all, like, not in a million years that I think we'd be back.
Amazing.
Okay, here's
All right,
here's his
give that
answer.
pause one more time.
No, first of all, like, not in a million years that I think we'd be back here today, 24 hours later, having the exact same conversation. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record.
I hear it.
It has been a little bit different each game, but like it just when we get away from it, we aren't able to get it back nearly as fast, and so the chances that we're giving up, they're big ones, most of them, and so in today's game, like, I don't think even in the first two periods it wasn't the same as some of these previous games where I feel like we were carrying play, and then suddenly, in the third period, like we don't. Today I think we gave them a lot of chances, from the start of the game. Sergei had to make a lot of saves. Too many chances there in the third where their shooters are just given, way too much time and space. And so we're going to continue to work on those areas. We're going to continue to work on those details. If there's things that, we're implementing that aren't working, then we'll change those. But I've never seen something where it just feels like it's the same thing, coming in different ways. It's, our closing, we have to learn how to close games. This group has to take that step. Obviously, I said it last night. I say it again. We're sitting right back here. I have to do a better job of fixing that, helping fix that.
Can I offer an idea? Because I don't know if Tristan Jarry was in net for any of those three losses, where they had three goal lead or more in the third period. They're 2-1-2 in those situations. It hasn't been discussed enough when it comes to the Pittsburgh Penguins that they might actually miss Tristan Jarry. Listen, someone gives you an offer like what Edmonton did for Jarry, you take it.
Sure.
You tried to unload the guy last year. You waived him. You played him in the minors. He has 2 years left at over $5 million. You do that deal 100 times out of 100. But this season, Jarry is 9-3-1. He wins Dan Muse games, or won Dan Muse games, right?
Yeah.
The other guys are 1-1-2 and 4-4-6.
Yeah, but you got to get out from under that contract
That's-
while he's playing.
I
You
agree.
can trade him.
I agree, and this is what I'm.
And let Stuart Skinner try to.
I definitely see a situation here where both goalies get better. Jarry in Edmonton looked all right on Saturday, and Skinner in Pittsburgh. And the bar is beneath the earth for both guys. Jarry's got to be better than Oilers, Skinner, and Pickard. And Skinner's got to be better than Murashov and Silovs.
Yep.
I think they're going to be fine.
Well, and I think Skinner's going to do well. And I think if Kyle's smart, and I think he's very smart, especially with trades, man, Skinner's going to be on another team headed to the playoffs if the Penguins are not it.
Maybe. Muse is going to play the wheels off him. Like, one thing, and it's weird how often I've encountered this in my time as a hockey adjacent person. Coaches will like alien crazy calculations, planet swirling around their head when it comes to anything that's happening on the ice. And then you ask them about the goalie and they're like, stop the puck.
Yeah.
Why is this goalie struggling? I don't know. I don't give a shit. Stop the puck. They don't know. They don't care. They want to put the goalie in there. And if there's a shot on net, they want it stopped. So if I'm Dan Muse, I'm like, the guy you just traded, stop pucks. And our first 2 games without him, we've blown
Yeah.
3 and 4 goal leads in the third.
But there's the reality is you do that trade 100 times out of 100.
Yes.
Even if you lose every game from now until the rest of the season, you still make that trade. Because you were supposed to suck. That's an asset you don't want for the next 2 years at that price. It's a perfect trade for Pittsburgh.
It's revisionist history if Jari is incredible in Edmonton and they win the cup.
Who cares?
And he continues to be incredible. You had a window to trade him because he's been playing well. The overwhelming evidence from the past 2 seasons is he's not going to be able to do this.
At least sustained, anyway.
This is the ultimate, window to sell high on a guy.
Yes, he was on waivers last year.
To get Skinner, who might be okay, Kulak, who might be okay, and will definitely net you a draft pick at the deadline, and an actual draft pick that is a draft pick, didn't seem possible last year.
No.
You had a window to get it done. You got it done. Organizationally, you're happy to get it done. As a fan, you're happy they got it done. You understand why they got it done, but I think head coaches are way more in the moment, and they're like, you got rid of the one goalie who gives me saves. I hate you.
I think
Dan Muse can't think like that.
I think
I guarantee you he thinks like that. He's an NHL head coach.
Can't look at the entire team and be like, I wish I had Jari back. And even if he thinks that, he understands why you don't have him, and he can't look at this as a negative situation.
I think he understands it until the moment he gets behind the bench during a game.
I think Dan Muse did his job, Steve.
Yeah.
He made Jari tradable.
Damn.
And he just got signed this year, Dan Muse. And I think he's actually a good coach. When I was there, as much as the Rangers, whooped them in the third period, trend developing. Pittsburgh was in it. And what
Did you see one of the 5?
Yeah, I see it. I saw one of the 5 losses, you mean?
No, they had 3. They've had a 3-goal lead or more in the third period 5 times.
No, it wasn't that.
It wasn't that?
No,
Okay.
no. They only scored 2 in the entire thing. But I was there for Ben Kindle's first goal. I think what I saw was a team that felt a lot like what Sheldon Keefe's Leafs were trying to look like. A very freer flowing, quick moving, reload quick and get to the neutral zone and back into the Rangers zone. I think he's a good coach. I think he's having... I think he has mismatched personnel. I don't think that... Honestly, do you think that the meeting with Dan Muse and Kyle Dubas this summer was anything other than, we got some bad contracts here, we're going to have to make some changes, maybe we'll keep Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, maybe we won't, but everybody else around them, we got to find ways to make these guys look good and attractive and move them on. And I think, you're looking at that, Erik Karlsson's got a lot of points this year. Sure. There's going to be a lot of interested suitors at the deadline if they're out of it. They're not going to get out from under the Ryan Graves deal. It's just not going to happen. But
they got out from under Jari, and that looked impossible.
Well, yeah, I think you're going to need more than what you've seen so far from Graves. But I think the point is that Dan Muse knows exactly what situation he stepped into, and he did goal 1, which is get them out of the worst contract on the team, which was Tristan Jarry's. Now, that doesn't mean that Tristan Jarry is going to be bad in Edmonton. I think it just means that they needed to get Tristan Jarry out of there.
Yeah. The narrative all summer long was this is the only team that is so bad on paper that they are selling.
Yeah.
31 other teams were like, oh, we might be in it. But Pittsburgh was always so bad they're supposed to be selling. And all of a sudden they're good. And they've had a really good start to the season. They've outperformed expectation, but that doesn't mean you have to let go of the long-term goal, which was getting rid of some of these players like Tristan Jarry.
One of the things, Jesse, that I'm reminded of, and this is early in the Shanahan era, one of the jobs of Mike Babcock, I believe it was Mike Babcock, was to make Dion Phaneuf look good. I'm pretty sure in that last season, was he not? Or was it somebody else? I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm going to look this up.
I don't remember if Phaneuf and Babcock overlapped. And if they did, it was for less than a full season.
Yes. And I believe that was the point. Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, 15-16. Yep.
Oh, okay.
When he got traded to Ottawa, he had 24 points in 51 games. And was playing a lot on the power play, and the Leafs made it so that his numbers looked good so somebody else would want him. Because remember, he was on that 7x7 deal, $7 million a year.
Ooh, when the cap was a lot lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they needed to move that deal. That was priority one. So the Leafs, and I've heard this from multiple people inside the organization, they made a point of protect Phaneuf, make him look good, make him look attractive, show people his best attributes, and let's get this contract off the books.
And they fleeced the Sens. All they got out of it was a conference final appearance.
Well, 100%. I mean, it worked out for the Sens, right?
Yeah, of course.
But my point is that, I think that is what happened with Jari, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I actually think with a goaltender, it's probably best to play to their strengths as much as possible, because then you get the best out of them. And look at the start Pittsburgh had.
You talk about that conversation or hypothetical conversation between Dubas and Muse. It's an easy thing to agree to. Like, there's going to be some pain this season.
Yep.
Easy thing to agree to before the season. Then the season begins and you're good. And it takes like 2.5 months for the pain that you talked about to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's hard.
Well, yeah, because now you sort of believe that you could. But
they're still in a playoff spot,
a lot of
right?
October.
They're not right now.
They're not?
They're 1 point.
Okay,
out.
that must be
Or
the
they're
reason.
one spot out. Sorry.
What is that up on the screen?
I was going to bring that up, but you've beat me to it. So there we go. Thanks, Steve. Back when Steve used to actually work for a living, he did trade trees. And this was the Dion Phaneuf trade tree. He did in November of 2020. You spoke with Brian Burke about the trade as well, I believe, to get some info on the trade tree. But this was what happened when Dion Phaneuf was traded in February of 2016.
Wow.
Talk about your trade tree.
So the Leafs got for Phaneuf. So I forgot how huge that trade was. Can you zoom in, because the font on the Ottawa part is too small to read? No.
Sorry, this one.
There you go. So the Leafs traded Dion Phaneuf, Matt Fratton, Ryan Rupert, Casey Bailey, and Cody Donaghy to the Ottawa Senators for Colin Greening, Milan Mahalik. Scroll.
You want
The other way? Yeah, there you go. Tobias Lindbergh, Jared Cowan, and a second-round pick in 2017, which I believe they traded. But now the font is so small. I have no idea.
Do you see this name down here?
Oh, the Leafs traded Tobias Lindbergh and a 6th-round pick to get Calvin Pickard.
Calvin Pickard is a part of the Dion Phaneuf trade tree.
He was good in Toronto.
Wow.
Really?
And then there's the other side of it.
Calgary didn't do so good.
Yeah.
Well, staging gave them a lot of good years.
I liked Nicholas Hagman in Toronto. I thought he was good.
I did too. That's why he was part of this deal.
Yeah.
So this trade tree is still technically going because Pickard's playing, and who else? A couple of these guys are still in the league and everything,
Did the Leafs trade Pickard? No, the Leafs lost him on waivers, so that leg of the trade tree actually ended.
Yeah.
Is that how you end it?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be when they retire.
No, it ends when the Leafs. It ends when one of the teams involved in the trade tree stops recouping value.
They didn't get anything back for
Right.
See, this is why I used to do the job.
I get messages about trade trees all the time.
Yeah,
they require so much work.
It's almost like everything requires work.
Everything, yeah. Well, this requires more.
It's almost like it's just how things get done.
It's so funny because Steve will be like, yeah, like I don't know if I can do those because they were like sort of a Sportsnet thing. I'm like, I don't think Sportsnet has a lock on the strategy of breaking down a trade.
You want me to start doing them?
Yeah,
I think everybody does.
Everybody's asking you to do them. Everybody's asking.
Really asked me.
I think for
everybody's asking.
5 years now, people have loved these and they've wanted them back.
Hey, Maddie, do you want to start helping me with something that takes just an enormous amount of time?
No. She says no.
Oh, Maddie said no.
Here, just for the mic there.
Yeah.
Just what was your answer again?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Well, then we can't. It's Maddie's fault.
Yeah. No, it's just
We'll talk about it.
All right.
We'll talk about it.
Anybody wants to trade? It's
Everybody
never coming.
wants it. Everybody wants it.
We have a BetMGM big story, I believe she talks about.
I believe we do. Let's get into it. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. It is everything for the action on the ice. Now, CJ is going to join us to talk a little bit more about this Quinn Hughes trade right after the segment. But I wanted to take right now to talk to you guys about how the Wild's Cup winning odds have improved since the trade. Because, I mean, they have to have, right?
You would think so.
But they did lose a 60-point center in Marco Rossi. I know nobody wants to talk about that, but he's pretty valuable.
I've never understood why they don't like him.
Well, Vancouver will have to love him. They have no choice.
Oh, I think have you seen their centers? I think they do.
Jesse Blake, what are we looking at here with the Minnesota Wild? They must be in the top 5. Are they in the top 3?
That's interesting. That's interesting that you would think they'd be there because I love a little game. I love a game of trivia. I love a game of guessing.
Yes, you
so
do.
we're going to go along the Stanley Cup odds and we're going to guess who's going to come up next as we reveal each answer along the way. So obviously, the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, 4-1, the Colorado Avalanche.
Have to be.
Can't even get good money on that. 4-1 for something that's going to happen in 5 months. Terrible odds. They're heavy favorites.
Which is crazy because at some point in the first 2 rounds, they're going to have to play Dallas and or Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who do you think is number 2?
Dallas.
Carolina.
Carolina.
What? Second place.
No way.
9-1 odds.
Wow.
Are they leading the East?
In terms of odds?
Yeah.
They should.
No, I mean... points.
Standings? I don't know. I don't have them.
Don't know, but probably up there.
Got it.
Number 3. Who's your guess?
Dallas.
Vegas.
The Tampa Bay Lightning are tied with the Hurricanes in terms of best odds, but they are ranked 3 here, 9-1.
So that's interesting.
To win the Stanley Cup.
The Lightning have a lot of injuries,
So-
even though they're playing well.
3 teams, 3 different divisions. That's why my answer for 4 is Vegas.
Okay. Adam? Lean into your mic a little there.
Dallas.
Get
Dallas.
Get into your mic, Stevens.
I'm right into it.
There you go. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh,
my bad.
Nobody's
Vegas.
listening.
Vegas.
All right. Next up, the Vegas Golden Knights.
You're good at this, man. You're
Well
good
done,
at this.
Steve. 10-1.
Okay.
5.
Now it's Dallas.
Adam?
Dallas.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Are you kidding me? How is Dallas not in the top 5? Neither are the Wild.
5-1.
They're in the same division as the Avs.
Yes.
So that makes, but okay,
The Wild might not be in the top 10.
get out.
Yeah, you got to think about how they're calculating the bracket.
Like their path is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Their 1-2 might be Dallas, Colorado. Like in terms of who they play in the first and who they play in the second round.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Okay. All right. You know what? Capitals.
That's a good pick.
That's what you got. Nice. So what was that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6.
If it's Dallas, I'm going to die.
6.
Oh shit. I'm gonna no, I'm Dallas.
You're going Dallas?
Yeah.
The Florida Panthers.
Interesting.
11-1.
BetMGM still believes. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries too. There's no reason not to believe.
All right. Dallas.
Okay. Dallas.
The Dallas Stars 12-1.
Now, how many teams down are we here?
That's
got to be 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
7th best odds to win the Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars 12-1.
Okay.
Who's at number 8?
I think it's going to be the Wild.
I think it's the Caps.
Number 8. The Washington Capitals 20-1. Now you're getting the territory of like, oh, I can make a good chunk of change here.
You could.
20-1.
And they're I think the Washington Capitals are primed to beat up on a team like the Carolina Hurricanes. Like, I think when you get the Caps into the playoffs against the Canes, I know they lost last year. I don't know, man. I think that they're a better team this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Next up, that was what I said, 8?
8.
That was 8. So this is number 9.
Dallas.
Steve?
I think this one I think this one's Minnesota.
Okay.
Might it be New Jersey? Here, let's go.
Adam, what's your guess?
New Jersey.
New Jersey? Minnesota? All right, here we go. The New Jersey Devils!
finally got one.
Well done, Adam.
26 to
That was
1
good.
too. Good money on that. I think the reason why though is if they rated the Lightning that high, and Vasilevsky's not playing, Kucherov's been in and out, Hedman's
Right.
got stuff going on. That means that they're looking at the Devils and going, well, Jack Hughes only cut his hand. He's going to be fine.
Same with the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
Not even in a playoff spot.
But if Jack Hughes isn't healthy, don't put the money down.
no.
Okay. Are the Wild in the top 10?
So
that's the question.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the next spot is the 10th place. So this would be the last spot for the Wild to make the top.
Okay, I'm gonna say Wild here because I believe they should be in the top 10.
Steve's thinking about this hard.
Well, no, because they've already they have the Devils there, man.
Wild should be there.
No,
They've got 2 banger goaltenders too.
They're
Come
not.
on.
They're not.
Who's your guess?
It's going to be someone crazy like the Ducks.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't hate that.
What's your guess? Locking it in?
I'm locking in Ducks.
I'm locking in Wild.
Adam said Wild. Okay.
They got to be in the top third of the league.
Deep breaths. Dan Muse breath. The Minnesota Wild, number 10.
All right. 29 to 1. I take those odds.
Oh my God.
29
Throw
to
2
1.
bucks on that. Why not?
Well, when they go out there and get a center, it's not going to be 29 to 1.
No.
But their path is so hard.
So when they get Sidney Crosby. Hey, listen.
After that, it's Kings, Leafs, Rangers, Sens, Jets stuff.
Leaf.
At that point, I think you're just throwing your money away, especially on the Leafs.
Oh my God.
Download the BetMGM app for terms and conditions. 19 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Shall we bring on Chris Johnston? 10 days till Xmas. 10 days.
Oh no.
If you haven't done your shopping yet, maybe you want to check out Jenny Bird. Listen, it's beautiful designs, modern and timeless. She's going to love it. Okay, She's going to love it.
Or he.
Or he, yeah, whatever. Whoever you're buying for, it doesn't matter.
Or your dog.
I don't think that you want to be piercing your dog's ear, but maybe there's some nice necklaces in there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hanging off the collar.
That's a fair point. Yeah. What's that?
Hanging off the collar.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's great. Listen, skip the awkwardness on Christmas morning. Get Jenny Bird. They ship quickly. They look great, and we can give you a discount. How's that? And by the way, my wife got some Jenny Bird earrings because she found out about the code, and so she's used our code and bought them. And
Herself?
yeah, of course. And she
Bad husband Wild.
She really loves them. Well, she
Trend
didn't
into
tell me. She
another big D.
You know what? You go get it yourself, lady, is what I said.
Oh my God.
No, that's not what I said. But here's the deal. Jenny Bird is awesome. You're going to love it. And it shows up quick in time for the holidays. Get 20% off your first order with Jenny Bird by visiting jenny-bird.ca and using the code DANGLE at checkout. Again, 20% off your first order just in time for the holidays with Jenny Bird. Visiting jenny-bird.ca and using that code DANGLE. That's going to get you the discount. Good luck out there. Well, it had to be a special occasion to awaken CJ from his slumber. And by slumber, I mean interrupt his schedule on a very busy day to make time for us. But welcoming back to the Steve Dangle Podcast of the Chris Johnston Show. Chris Johnston, everybody! Woo!
Hey, sorry I'm not in studio with you guys. That's the only miss here.
That's okay, buddy.
How dare you?
How
dare you?
We want to have you in anytime you have time, but we know how busy you are. So listen, CJ, Steve and Jesse did like a great breakdown on Friday of everything that was going on with Quinn Hughes from like a fan perspective and what we knew at the time. Mm-hmm. But, you know, what occurred to me over the weekend is we had a whole bunch of reports from the Vancouver side, from the Minnesota side. We saw press conferences. We saw Bill Guerin talk about it. We saw Quinn Hughes talk about it himself. I thought we would get the insider perspective. I wanted to know specifically, what was the straw that broke the camel's back here? Why did Quinn Hughes say to the Canucks, apparently over American Thanksgiving, yeah, I'm not going to sign here in 18 months?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago was when that conversation happened. And, you know, I don't know that there was one thing. I think it was the accumulation of a number of factors, starting with the fact the team isn't very good. I don't believe we're sitting here having this conversation, you know, in an alternate universe where the Canucks got off to a great start this year. Everyone was happy. They're winning. You know, it probably creates a different circumstance around Quinn Hughes to maybe think differently upon that. You know, the media in Vancouver, I know, Was something that started to weigh on him. Obviously, very demanding market. He's the captain of the team. He's not the one building out the roster, but you're kind of weighing things. And let's face it, even you can go back to last year, the everything that happened with JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. I don't think that was an easy situation for anyone with kind of a leadership stake in that club trying to get them through that. So, my understanding really is it was just a combination of a lot of the factors that built up over time. And obviously every day that was passing, he was getting closer to July 1st, 2027, which is, when he'll become an unrestricted free agent, when he has the ultimate control that a player's got to spend a lot of years in the league to earn. And, he was not at all at a position where he was thinking about extending in Vancouver. And, I think, when you look at the return, it's hard to argue that this wasn't the best time to trade him because the closer and closer that deadline became, I think the Canucks would have lost leverage. And so, ultimately, I think everyone kind of comes away with the best case here. I mean, probably the best case would be the Canucks being competitive, but that wasn't the case. And as a result, here we are today.
What on earth is going on in Vancouver? Because for years, the Canucks have struck me as a team that should be better than they are. And one year they were, and I bought into that. And I was like, well, this is what they are now. They had that 7-game series against the Oilers. If they have Brock Besser, maybe it goes the other way. Who knows? We'll never know. But there was like a supposed rift between Horvat and some guys. Horvat's gone. There's a supposed rift between JT Miller and practically everyone. He's gone. Rick Tocchet said, I don't want to be a coach here anymore, leaves. And now Quinn Hughes, who a lot of Canucks fans refer to as the best defenseman they've ever had, the best player they've ever had, is gone. Like, I think they did really well with the package here, and we'll get into that. But what's going on?
It's a difficult question to answer. They've refused to do a rebuild. I think that's kind of, if you want to call it the original sin, is sort of just committing to a specific, plan of attack for building out the team. They don't have a practice rink, which is, sounds like a small thing, but when you look at the amenities that teams are building out around the league, they've kind of lagged behind in some of the things they can offer, players who play there. It's a very difficult market. It's not the only one in the league, but they have a lot of, coverage. They have, a lot of people in the marketplace, and I give them credit, who are not afraid to call a spade when it comes to certain situations. And so, with you add it together, it just seems like they're kind of piecemealing it. And, I don't know that it's one thing that you can say like, this is what's going wrong there, but you sort of look at the totality of this and you're like, man, they've had a lot of good players pass through, even with the way things have gone. And honestly, it's not like the management's made exclusively bad decisions. They've made some pretty good trades, I think. It's just they haven't been able to collect it all together and make it work. And the JT Miller stuff last year, that's kind of like an earthquake on a team. I mean, you look 2 seasons ago, both he and Pettersson were 100-point players. Obviously, Quinn Hughes, one of the best defensemen in the world. Thatcher Demko is a top goaltender. I mean, they had the pieces lined up in place if they could have made that work, where you're like, you can build a winner out of that. Now, it was only going to last so long. Miller's getting up there, so you expect some decline as time goes along in his game. But, they did have it kind of arranged, and it's all fallen to pieces here. And, I think if there's one positive, quite honestly, is they did pretty well, in my view, in this trade for Quinn Hughes. It's never a good situation when you're trading Hughes, but they made a hard decision, because the truth of the matter was he wasn't staying, and you can sort of stick your neck in the sand and pretend that isn't happening, or you can get out there and, basically make the deal they did. And I kind of wish we saw more of this around the league. I actually give them not credit for putting themselves in this situation, but, at least once they were in that situation, I think that they've actually done pretty well here.
Yeah, at least they didn't lose it for nothing. Jess?
Yep.
Sorry, I thought you were jumping in. Okay, well.
4 pennies on the dollar. Like, they got good value here. This is 3 first-round players, all under the age of 25, and a first-round pick. I mean, that's a haul.
That could have been the Mitch Marner return. Now, I listen. I might be reading.
It could have been, though. You're not like, that's not just a joke. It could have been.
It could have been. It could have been had they been decisive about it. The Toronto Maple Leafs, that is. Also,
yeah, and if they had done it 18 months before he was a free agent instead of in the last year when he already had the no move clause.
Exactly.
Get out of my head.
Quinn didn't have any trade protection, right? As a part of this
did
deal?
not.
No. So
He did not.
that was also a smart call by the Canucks management. Now, I have seen Canucks fans, and I think they have a point, say the biggest mistake the Canucks made was picking JT Miller over Bo Horvat, which has cascaded, and you couldn't have seen it when the trade happened, but has cascaded into the scenario we're in right now, because it was, from what I understand, Bo Horvat and JT Miller not getting along. They chose JT Miller.
Well, you know what version of Bo is showing up to the rink every day?
And Bo Horvat, I believe he's hurt right now, or was, briefly hurt, but he was, an outside contender for Team Canada.
Mm-hmm.
CJ, do you think this is a sliding doors sort of moment for the Canucks? Had they chosen differently with Bo Horvat? Are we in a different scenario today?
We have the massive benefit of hindsight, but I think it's fair to say that. I don't remember if I thought that at the time, quite honestly, but looking back, you can definitely say it. And, just as a small point of correction, I think Bo Horvat's on the inside for Team Canada right now. I mean, we'll see where he's at health-wise, but I think he's very much in the mix to make the team. Obviously probably is a 13th or 14th forward, but that's how good his season has been, is that he's right there. The Islanders have been a better team, I think, than a lot of us expected. Some of that's on Matthew Schaefer being generationally good to start his career, but it's also players like Horvat, taking a step forward. So, there is probably that alternate universe where that could have changed some things. I mean, no one was saying that when, I can't remember that year what Miller had, but he had over 100 points. I remember, no one was probably saying that right in the immediate aftermath of the trade when that happened. But, over time, that looks to be, a fission point. It's hard, man. It's like, at the end of the day, it really is difficult to build a good team. I'm not letting the Canucks off the hook here, but, I do feel like they, that's probably where it's more frustrating in a sense. They haven't been laughably bad at any point, right? It's more like, it's not like they're not in Sabres territory here, in terms of just an inability to get even anywhere off the runway, but they've still had trouble keeping the plane together. And, I think if Horvat was there, we're probably talking about a different scenario. Who knows? You start playing that game, it's well, maybe Hughes never leaves. There's a lot of what ifs, right, about all this stuff. They let Chris Tanev walk years ago. I know Tanev was a player that Quinn Hughes was very fond of.
You can see why, by the way.
Yeah, but you can also see that. I mean, the problem is he went for 4 years to Calgary, with the tail end of it being in Dallas, and he held up tremendously under that contract that the Canucks were wary to give him. But now, look where he is in Toronto. He had a great year last year, so that'd be the 5th year since leaving Vancouver. But now he's unfortunately been hurt most of the season. I think that durability was always just a concern, frankly, because of the way he throws his body in front of pucks and puts his body on the line so consistently. So, I do think it's a series of things that lead to today. It's almost like death by 1,000 cuts, that lead to the point where you're trading Quinn Hughes at age 26. And, I think the Canucks will be fascinating. Their side of this, how they proceed. I mean, they might, who knows? They might luck into a number 1 overall pick this year. I mean, that's one thing they've sort of not gone down that road, but, even with a win in New Jersey, they're still right near the bottom of the standings and are likely, I think, headed to favorable lottery territory. And, they could end up sort of bouncing back quicker than we think if they get a great player in this year's draft.
No, Jesse and I made a video right after the trade happened. And I was reached out to by a few friends of mine who are Canucks fans, but they're not necessarily dialed into the prospect system of the Minnesota Wild. They were mourning the loss of Quinn Hughes to another Western Conference team, but I started getting messages like, is this Zeev Buium kid actually that good? And sure enough, he has 2 points in his debut. What can you say about how Zeev Buium's looked at league-wide?
Well, very favorably. I mean, I would never come here and say he's going to have Quinn Hughes' career, because Quinn Hughes won a Norris Trophy and is probably on most people's top 2 or top 3 lists right now. And so I don't know if his ceiling gets quite that high, but certainly a number 1 defenseman on your team type of potential. And, he's been a winner too. I mean, that's the other side of this. He's done a lot of winning with USA Hockey to this point, really at every age level, including the World Championship last year. And, I think there's still development, and it's going to take a little bit of time because he's so recently drafted. But, that's the win here. If you're Vancouver, is getting a prospect with that kind of potential that he could become potentially somewhere near what Quinn Hughes was. Plus you get the center that they've badly needed. I mean, discussions with the Wild on Marco Rossi go way back, several months ago. The Canucks were originally trying to get him. Liam Ogren, I think, is a little bit more of a modest prospect, but, an NHL player who's still very young. And then you get the first round pick. I mean, I think getting that kind of return, each of those pieces is meaningful, right? There's no fodder just thrown in there to make it look like, hey, we got a bunch of magic beans here. Marco Rossi had 60 points last year. I know he's maybe a little smaller than some people like in terms of, being a frontline center in the league. But if you get to a point perhaps where he's your number two, and he might be there when Elias Pettersson's healthy for the Canucks. I mean, that's a pretty good asset in and of itself. We're talking about all these teams around the league looking for centermen. The Canucks just got one plus a prospect that could become Hughes. So, that probably doesn't fill you with joy if you're a Canucks fan who, probably bought a 43 jersey and, spent the last number of years believing that Quinn Hughes was going to take your team and your organization to levels it hasn't been to. But, I think under the circumstances, it really is as good as they could have done. And with Bouillon in particular, I mean, he was a top draft prospect, and I don't think they've seen any decline in his game. It's just, there's a learning curve typically for defensemen entering the league. I mean, Schaefer's, who I mentioned earlier, might be the one guy that seems to be defying that. But if you look at pretty much any player, entering the league at 19 or 20 as a defenseman, it usually takes a couple of years to start, bending the game to your will.
Yeah, I think most rational Canucks fans look at that trade like how you described it, and that oh, this is pretty good for Quinn Hughes. We kind of got everything we wanted. But I think the majority of Canucks fans, and I agree with them, look at it as we reached a point in our franchise's tenure where we had to trade our captain, and we had to trade the best player in this trade, and we had to lose one of the best defensemen in the league. And that in and of itself is a problem. And for me, that comes down to ownership and Francesco Aquilini. So I don't know if you have any insight into how he's perceived amongst the other people within the game, and if he's messing too much with the franchise. His fingers are a little too much on the Canucks, because we know he's very involved. But if I'm a Canucks fan today or on Friday, that's who I kind of am looking at for the reason as to why we reached that point. We might have won the trade, or at least come out looking good in the trade, but we should have never reached the point where we had to make the trade at all.
Well, ironically, I can tell you that Quinn Hughes thinks highly of Francesco Aquilini, and not just because he thanked him when he did his press avail in Minnesota. I mean, I think there was a real good relationship there. So it hasn't got to the level where necessarily players share this, but I understand why the media have zoned in on him in particular, and the fans, because there's a common denominator here, right? He's owned the team for quite some time, and basically this entire period, going back 10 years of decisions. I mean, really since Mike Gillis was the GM of this team, the Canucks have veered in all sorts of wild directions under, his tutelage or time as the owner. And so, ultimately the buck stops with him, right? And his family, but he's kind of the front facing member of his family that runs the team. And so, he's not universally thought of the way you might see him characterized by fans or the media within the sport, including with Quinn Hughes. And I think there's a lot of appreciation with the way the Canucks actually handled this exit. There's a lot of relief too right now for Quinn Hughes. You could see it. I mean, you watched the way he looked in Minnesota. I mean, that guy looked like he had a 1,000-pound weight lifted off his shoulder. Just I think getting that fresh start, having it not drag on even longer. I mean, this might be the worst thing that could happen if you're a Canadian before the Olympics is Quinn Hughes, getting that sort of weight and burden off himself, getting a chance to be re-energized, playing now in Minnesota for the next, 5-6 weeks ahead of that Olympic tournament with, a few players that are going to be part of, including Faber and Boldy, that are going to be part of his teammates in Milan. So, I think that the reviews are mixed on Aquilini, depending on who you're talking to, but certainly doesn't give the impression of an owner that, look, in a market like Vancouver, there's just so many opinions. Like he doesn't give you the impression he fully gets, where the criticism's coming from, right? I mean, there's like a disconnect there. It feels like between the message that he feels he's sending but what the media and the fans are hearing. I don't know how you solve that fact. As I say, like what makes the Canucks hard to break down for me is it has not been universally good or bad. Like I feel like it's a real mixed bag of things. And then yet we're sitting here talking about them trading a recent Norris Trophy winner at age 26. I mean, there's no good way to put a spin on that. I mean, unless you're trading that for like, another superstar player in real time, and it's a true star for star trade, which it's not. I mean, there's some hope built into this that the prospects and young players are going to, help them collectively. But I mean, now I'm looking at Minnesota, quite honestly, guys, as a team that has its cup window open. I think it's that significant of addition for them. I'm aware of, what your follow-up's probably going to be if we talk about the Wild end of this about, their center depth not being, typically what we see with a cup contender. But I mean, you win Stanley Cups because of players like Quinn Hughes. Like there's not a lot of players like him in the league that are true difference makers. I mean, it might be 10 or so. It would be my just rough estimation. So the fact that they've got two now in Kaprizov and him is pretty special for the Wild.
So I've got a couple of conspiracy theory questions because I think it's always good to ask these, especially with somebody as well connected as you are, CJ. But I will tell you, part of the message, I think, just to comment on what you said there, part of the message that I think is not getting through to Canucks fans is something you referenced right off the top of this segment. And Steve and Jesse and I, when we were at Sport Check in the playoffs, were talking about the fact that Canucks do not have a practice facility. Francesco Aquilini's business, the way that he makes money, which is not the Vancouver Canucks, most of these billionaires are using them as tax write-offs. He makes money by developing real estate. There's absolutely no excuse that a guy that plugged in to British Columbia real estate can't figure this out. It seems as though that is one factor as a part of many that has led to the scenario that we're in, right? Like it's not the whole story, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, well, it's nice that he's a nice guy and it's nice that he handled Quinn Hughes well, but this is a fumble of epic proportions. And I think Canucks fans were right to point that out. And it didn't have to be this way. Now, the question I have for you, there's two, but the first conspiracy theory question I have for you is Quinn Hughes notably did not thank Patrick Allvin in the Instagram post, did not thank Patrick Allvin, as far as I could see, in the press conference. When he says thanks to Jim Rutherford, does he mean Jim Rutherford and his administration, or is there some tension there?
I'm not aware of any tension specifically, but I think in this case, the reason he's thanking Jim Rutherford is because he handled the trade. Okay. Right. He took the reins on, dealing with Pat Brisson and Quinn's agents at CAA, keeping the Hughes camp informed of where things were going, giving Pat Brisson the ability to speak to the GMs, above board about that were involved here trying to make the trade. And so, I think it is more a reflection on the fact that Jim Rutherford basically ran the show here from the Canucks end of this deal, and that Quinn and his family were very appreciative of how he conducted himself during that. I mean, Jim Rutherford has a sterling reputation inside the NHL as being, I realize he might take some arrows for decisions the Canucks are making in that market, but in terms of how he conducts business, he's widely respected, very straight to the point, gets a deal like this done, right? Doesn't drag this out for 6 weeks, because really this trade came together in days. And that's not always the way things go.
No. Thank goodness, and I think, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's go. But it came movement. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, like the thing is some people aren't that decisive in the league, right? And some people like to just kick tires and have all these calls and drag it. Like you can imagine yourself. I mean, if you've ever dealt with, I don't know, made a fantasy hockey or fantasy football trade, like it's nice when you can just get down to business and two people sit down and talk openly and get it done. So, I don't read into that as much as you might. There could be something there, but honestly, Adam, I've never heard any whiff of that in conversations. So, I can't really. I think it's just more. It just highlights that titles don't matter.
Yeah,
because Patrick Allvin's the GM, but let's face it, Jim Rutherford is the top decision maker in the hockey operations department, and he conducted the trade essentially.
Okay, I guess my other and I've talked to a few people. There's questions about Jim, but this is not my other question. Questions about, he's 77. CJ, do you think he's still going to be running this team next year?
I do.
Okay.
Lou Lamoriello just ran the Islanders until into his 80s, right?
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't. I think that he's still game for it. And, I think that at the ownership level, he's in good standing. So, I mean, I guess there's a world, like, let's just hope he's healthy enough and all those things. I mean, you don't want to take anything for granted, but I do think he'll be back.
Now, my other conspiracy theory, and this is the real one, is you mentioned the Minnesota Wild center depth and how it's potentially lacking, especially with a 60-point center like Marco Rossi gone. We saw Pittsburgh blow 2 historic, crazy leads this weekend. They are falling back to earth. And I know Penguins fans are going to hate it, specifically coming from me because I've been so hard on them the last couple of years. But I have to ask the question, Marc-Andre Fleury still connected to the organization. Bill Guerin, Crosby's former teammate, running the organization. If Sidney Crosby becomes available, do the Minnesota Wild become a factor?
Well, say it this way. I mean, it's still a monster if Sidney Crosby becomes available to anyone. But all the teams that would like to have him can really do is put themselves in a position where if that day comes, that they can be a spot where it would make sense for him to consider going. And I think that just on the surface, you now see in Minnesota the conditions where it might make sense. I mean, he would step in as their number one center, in my view, and would be on their top power play and still be joining a team that I think can be considered a credible cup contender, a place where he might be comfortable given the relationship he has, and given that he could, basically go try to help a team do something it hasn't done. I mean, to me, the Minnesota Wild in their entire history have never been more relevant than they are today. By the moves that they've made in the last few months. I know that they made those monster signings back in 2012, getting Ryan Suter and Zach Parise both at the time when they were 2 of the top free agents. That was maybe close, but that experiment didn't pan out. I think when you look at how elite their goaltending's been this year, having Kaprizov signed, now having Quinn Hughes in place with Faber, with guys like Boldy, Eriksson Ek. I mean, all these players are locked up too, right? They don't have the kind of question marks sometimes a team has where you're like, ooh, is this guy going to extend in a year? And what's the number going to be? And is that going to blow the cap situation? I mean, they're in total go mode right now. So I think that they at least present the things that would make it make sense. But at this point, that's not in Sidney Crosby's mind. I mean, I don't think he's looking around the league, wondering where he might go. But, the Montreal Canadiens, it's no secret, have been hoping to be in that position. Their season hasn't gone as well as they would have liked to this point. So I don't know if they'd still be in that mix. But I think all the teams that hope to get him can do is just be ready to act. The biggest issue, what I see in Minnesota, honestly, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. I know I'm going to.
That was the point. That was the point.
I'm going to radio the hell out of myself with these answers.
Go, CJ.
No, but someone's just going to clip part of what I said and not give the full context.
Good. That's good for us.
Okay. Bad for me, good for you.
Yes, exactly.
But the Wild might not have the trade pieces to make sense still. Like that is actually the only part of the equation, if we're just fantasy GMing this from 10,000 feet, that I don't know if it could fit together, because they've obviously depleted their young player prospect draft pick pool significantly in the Hughes deal. And those are the kind of assets, if it ever got to the point that Pittsburgh would be looking for, just as they've been looking for in all their trades, frankly, for the last year or two. The Penguins have been actively trying to get younger. So, what remains unchanged is Sidney Crosby will drive the bus on what does or doesn't happen with this. They're still in a playoff spot, I believe, at this point in time. So there's no way he's thinking the way we are, but it's our job to get ahead of ourselves or to do this sort of idle speculation at times. And so I think if we had done the list in the summer, like where are the places that could make sense, Minnesota wouldn't have been there for me. Now Minnesota would be on that list.
Okay, so that was good. Let's try that again. Can you just say Danila Yurov, David Juracek, and 2 first, and then we'll edit that back like a few moments into the clip.
We'll make it it'll be a sensation on TikTok.
Yeah. Is that all right? Is that okay?
I know CJ hates this so much.
You know what? Anyway, you got AI at this point. I mean, I'm sure you can just somehow make it happen. Like you twist my words any way you want with the computer help. So,
He's right. He's right. Sorry, that was a good
conversation.
idea.
the conversation is fun for everyone but Penguins fans. But,
Yes.
I think that we all have wondered what it could look like. Look at what's the excitement over the weekend. It's seeing like a player like Quinn Hughes, which is not exciting for Canucks fans, I realize, but switch jerseys, play a game. Like, it's kind of weird to see him in the green, but then you see him make a few big plays, and like look how electric that building was in Minnesota on Sunday. Like it was, and quite honestly, as I said, like that team has a level of relevance they have never had, in my opinion, because of a trade like this, because of the Kaprizov signing. Like they truly are all in, like the way that I think fans of any organization would love to see their GM operating, taking some calculated risks, all those things. I mean, this adds juice to the league. It's exciting. And I understand the legacy component in Pittsburgh. And I understand, frankly, the Penguins have been trying to get to the point where they're, on the upswing again before the end of Crosby's career. And even a guy like Malkin, right? He's had a pretty good year. I know it's his last year of his contract, but they're due to sit down in 6 weeks or so time and see maybe if an extension's in place. I mean, maybe they'll keep it together in Pittsburgh. Like that's obviously what they're trying to do from an organizational standpoint. But, Pat Brisson, who's Crosby's agent, was public in preseason, right? About he feels like Sid should be in the playoffs every year. And, he still remains at a high level despite his age. And is he willing to let another season go down the drain? If the Penguins, go into the Olympic break out of a playoff spot and kind of trending in the wrong direction, could there be a change of heart there? I don't know. I know Crosby doesn't want this talked about publicly, but you have to think, if you're him, like, can you miss the playoffs again? It's just hard to imagine, given how productive he remains and how good he still is.
Let's bug him after the Olympics, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I don't want him being distracted.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Let's bug him after.
Joint stiffness doesn't care how old you are, especially if you're Steve and you're 21.
Yeah.
Because Steve's been complaining about his back since at least then, perhaps earlier.
I used to get made fun of. Now everyone's at an age where they're like, what are those stretches you do?
Yeah.
People want to know.
Yeah. Now, morning stiffness, knees that feel tight after sports, hips and shoulders that kind of catch or they don't move properly, whatever. These are not necessarily old age problems. They're problems that actually are corrective, and Genacol can really help you with that. So what we're saying is you should try it out. You're not alone if you have these symptoms, but Genacol offers a natural, clinically proven joint care solution featuring their exclusive AminoLock Collagen, which helps reduce joint pain and maintain mobility. And if inflammation is a part of your everyday life, they've got Genacol Anti-Inflammatory, Steve.
Ooh.
Jesse, do you any of these problems, do they follow you around? Are you sore yet?
Steve should really be the face of this brand.
Yeah.
They should put his face on the little box there. Like, Steve, you were made to use Genacol.
I'm better now, said Steve Dangle.
Yeah.
I gotta do the, like, I'm not even looking at the camera thing that, like, all those models on medicine box.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a hot spot.
Your life is just infinitely better since you started using this.
Get 25% off with our promo code. It's SDP25G. Again, it's SDP25G at Genacol, GENACOL.ca. Genacol.ca, SDP25G, 25% off. Check it out. Skyscanner.ca/football-flight-finder. It's the way that you can find yourself all around North America following your favorite team. And we promoted it last week, but it's actually pretty incredible. Skyscanner is something that Maddie specifically, who travels all the time, uses all the time. But this is great for next year's big tournament during the summer when people are going to be flying around a lot.
Yeah, whatever country you want to track down, you just kind of hit the little country drop down button. It shows you all the different stadiums they're playing in and how to get there with your flight.
My brother-in-law's family is from Iran, so they will be following that. They're going to Dallas to watch Iran versus Egypt, I think. It's going to be pretty exciting. People very excited about it. And obviously, Skyscanner is the tool he used to book his flights, because I told him about it last week because we started doing these ads. And he was like, oh, that's pretty great, actually. So don't waste your time searching everywhere. Be the smart fan. Be the smart Maddie fan, Start planning like the Mad Dog. And get your trip right now. Go to Skyscanner's dedicated football flight finder URL. You can find it in the link in the description, or I'll just read it out for you. Skyscanner.ca/football-flight-finder, and set your price alerts to lock in your trip for the biggest games of 2026. CJ, listen, we really, really appreciate your time, guys. Do you have any other questions you want to?
Yeah, can I get a Leafs question in here?
Yeah, let's go.
CJ, you're gonna have the best perspective on this.
Why didn't they do it? No.
On Saturday night when the Leafs drop 1-2, McDavid and Draisaitl, and Steve Dangle sitting in his basement doesn't see Austin Matthews come out post game to talk. Does he have a right to be upset when those things happen?
He has a right to be upset, but I think, we have to recognize that in every market, the PR staffs manage a player's availability. Like, I think it's my understanding, I'm pretty sure both Draisaitl and McDavid didn't talk after that game, even though they were the 2 stars for Edmonton. And I'm not taking a run at the Oilers PR staff over that. I mean, the truth of the matter is there's a huge amount of demands on these guys. It is normal operating procedure in the league. Quite honestly, there's almost like a quid pro quo at times between the PR staff and the central reporters that cover the team. I wasn't there Saturday night. I was there in the morning, but so I don't know what discussions were had about that. But, I understand you want the captain of the team to speak to it. My guess is the Leafs are practicing right now on Monday early afternoon. I bet Matthews will be among the guys that are speaking then. I don't see it as the end of the world for a game in December. But, you also still have the right, Steve. Like you have the total right to your opinion. Like I certainly am not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. It's just the truth is behind the scenes there is kind of a negotiation that goes on and there's an understanding that every player can't speak every day all the time. I don't think that's good for the reporters, and frankly, I don't think it's good for the player.
Okay. Couple follow-up questions. Is it Monday morning or Saturday night, and do their checks still show up on time?
I actually think it's December 15th we're talking. That's a payday in the NHL. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there you go.
Lots of money hitting bank accounts today.
Everyone's in a good mood. Game schmame. Who even cares if you win or lose? You know what I mean? High five. Let's go, boys.
TJ, you said it's not the end of the world, but what if somebody to my right takes it as if it is the end of the world?
Well, I've known Steve and all you guys for a decade. Like, I don't think I'm going to calm him down. It's been a tough year for the Leafs. It has. I mean, the fact they've used 5 goalies and 10 defensemen tells a story. They're still well within the playoff chase, but it's far from a certainty. Let's face it. Normally, if we were talking this close to Christmas holiday break, it's almost like, who are they going to play in the first round? Like, usually by now they have almost such a cushion built up. It's not really a question other than maybe 1 or 2 years along this 9-year, streak that they've had of making the playoffs. So it's been a tough season. And so I would expect that Steve is kind of the voice of the fans. It's not like Steve's the only guy out there frustrated. I hear from all kinds of friends about how they feel about this team right now. It's a tough slog. So rage on, Steve.
If they don't get back into a playoff spot sometime soon, let's say after the Christmas break, and they're kind of still middling where they are, do the discussions about Brad and Craig's job start bubbling up again?
Yeah, because, I know internally the organization feels it has roughly a 3-year window to try to win a cup. Things could happen that change that plan. Who knows? Maybe you draft someone that you didn't expect to be a difference maker. The Tampa Bay Lightning's views changed when they got Nikita Kucherov, for example, in the 3rd round. And that wasn't necessarily expected. But at this point in time, they're operating like they have a very small window here to win a Stanley Cup. And so if they fall well short of even like getting a chance, like, here's the thing. If they get in, even if they get in with the last wild card spot, I don't think the view will be quite as bad because there is an understanding like the playoffs are a bit of a crapshoot. Mm-hmm. I'm not letting anyone off the hook for anything that's happened, but like it is the truth, right? Like Colorado lost in the first round last year, and now they're just turnstiling the entire NHL. And they haven't won. Have they won a playoff series since they won the cup? One maybe or not? Anyway, point is they haven't had an abundance of playoff success. So some of that's due to the format and all these things. The Leafs need to get back in the playoffs. If they don't get back in the playoffs this season, there's going to be consequences for that. I don't see any way around it. Now, do they happen in season? I think it will just depend on how close they are, how the team's playing. I mean, Saturday aside, there has been an uptick in their performance, I think, in the last few weeks as a team. Mm-hmm. It's got to continue. They've got to get even better. They've got to string together a lot of wins to get back in a playoff spot. But if they're trending in the right direction, I think some of that heat will stay away. But if this is the start of a slide in the wrong direction, then who knows where it goes. I mean, we had the president of the team or of the entire organization, Keith Pelley, say like, it's go time, right? That was his exact line, I believe, in October. Like this, they entered this season thinking pedal down, we're going to be a factor, and they've not been a factor anywhere near to the degree they would expect.
Let's radio CJ. Matthias Michelli is a
big question mark about how many more games he'll play as a member of the Leafs.
Okay, so I like that.
And the last one, I want to give you some homework because I was listening to the CJ show.
He's doing us a favor, right?
I don't give a damn. No. Homework. So I was listening to CJ show. It's my number one podcast on my Spotify Wrapped.
Mm-hmm. And Jesse's 100%ering for me on Saturday too. So.
I am, yeah. I was quite upset at you
You
not
weren't
giving
the
us,
only one.
us 100%ers more credit at the end of last show.
I got like some angry DMs over that. So, I mean, semi-angry, but like a lot of people saying, hey, you're not giving us enough credit, which is essentially the message Jesse delivered face-to-face when I saw him on Saturday morning.
CJ, I can never be mad at you. The question is, it's a follow-up from something I heard on today's show. I would like an investigation into why teams are doing these Friday night deals. Why? Because you're right. It's screwing up our lives. And I want them to knock it off.
Here's the thing. I'm actually not even saying it as a complaint. It's just been a clear trend.
Yeah. It's it's definitely not even as a complaint. You're right. Like it's why are they doing this? Because they're clearly doing this.
And I've asked a few people and they kind of like shrug it off. Like, I mean, GMs and people have made those deals. I'm like, is there a reason for this? Like, is it just because maybe the world gets a little quieter? Like you don't, like you have less of your day-to-day business stuff going on at that time. So you can just like lock in and get a trade done. I haven't found anyone who can give me an answer, but it's definitely happening. And frankly, I know this, if I'm being totally honest, because I can just think of how many trades have happened when I'm like a little buzzed, like in a social situation. And now I gotta say, Friday was not one of those times, but with the Quinn Hughes deal, I mean, but like I remember the Ryan O'Reilly deal to the Leafs happened. Like I was in a cab on the way home from a dinner with friends, like nothing crazy, but wine at dinner, and I'm like, oh my god, what is like?
Mikko
I think that might have been
last year. That was a Friday night.
It was a Friday.
We were out at we were at a hotel, right?
Yeah, we were in London.
Dinner. Yeah, that was Friday night. It's a thing.
That's
it is a thing. I was sober for Randon though, because I was actually in Charleston, South Carolina, because I was doing a half marathon there that weekend.
I remember that.
But I was. It also interrupted like a planned nice dinner that night. Anyway, I don't expect that Eric Tulsky or Chris McFarland or Kyle Dubas, who made the ROR trade, or I don't think these guys care because let's face it, they're working all hours of the day. But very few trades happening at like noon on a Monday when I'm like right now I am ready to work, guys. Like I am doing nothing today but working, and there's no trades happening. But
it's funny you brought up Ryan O'Reilly. Adam and I were high, so it was difficult to make a video.
We were baked in Steve's basement. So
yes,
at least you were together.
Yeah.
I did the video that night.
No, because Steve wouldn't do the video that night because he was high. Remember?
I offered to do it.
Oh, you did it.
I
thought
did the
you
video.
Yeah.
I think I was on team do it.
Yeah.
And so were you. And both of our wives were like, absolutely not.
Yeah, do not. Jesse did it. That's right. Oh my God. That's throwing it back. All right. Well,
why are we trusting our memory over his?
As I enter team dad phase, I know I'm going to be up at all hours now.
Yep.
I'm not going to be going out to dinners with wine for the next foreseeable future. So I'm going to have a leg up on the insiders around the league because I'm just going to be up ready to work at any given moment.
100%.
This guy's going to be breaking the Kawhi trade at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Honestly,
awesome.
Honestly, when it's like that, like when you become a parent, it's sort of like work becomes your play because everything at home is a lot of work, especially when they're young. You're just trying to keep them from not dying.
That was
they're like two. You wait till you have kids.
Thing to say.
Yeah, you wait till you have kids.
What the hell is that?
You wait.
You know what the most interesting thing about being a dad to be is you get a real range of opinions from people, including like what Adam just said. Like it goes for like, this is going to be the worst thing you've ever experienced, and you're going to want to like run away and pretend. And some people are like, oh man, it's going to be the best thing ever. You're going to change your like.
It's somewhere everybody in the middle. It's in the middle.
Yeah, but I can't believe the range of opinions I've heard. And honestly, my IG. You should see the crap I'm getting served up with. Like IG It's like turned me into a doom scroller about like how I'm going to be an insufficient parent.
No, you're going to be great. You're going to be great, CJ. And listen, I'm just talking about the first couple of years. It's hard. Like, Steve, you have a 2-year-old.
Oh.
Your whole job is to keep her from dying.
It's very easy. Very easy.
Yeah, right.
I think
I've always
different
said
people go through different experiences.
Yeah, okay.
That is
Yes.
life.
I'm scared that we're having a boy. Like in my mind, I was like, we're going to have like this cute little girl that just sits in the corner and doesn't make noise and colors and is so sweet. And I'm going to get like just a rambunctious little boy. I know it. Just running into walls.
I've got one of each. They're both barbarians.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
Remember, if they're playing a sport that's not hockey, lefty. If they're playing hockey, right-handed.
That's right.
You know?
I was a left shooter though. Does that get passed down from generations?
Switch
or
them
what?
over.
CJ.
You can manipulate it when they're a child. It doesn't matter.
Right defense, CJ. Right
Yeah.
defense.
We had a conversation about maybe not getting too serious in the hockey thing unless he really drives it. So.
Yeah. Well, you'd be $10,000 a year or more if they get serious into it. But to be honest with you,
10,000 is light.
so is dance though. If kids get into dance, like I've know some parents, my daughter liked it but didn't love it. So there's a lot of parents I know who are like, well, you should count your lucky stars because that is the most expensive thing you could possibly do.
Cool.
So-
Kids like boxes and mud and dirt.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
That's all your fault.
100%. CJ, thanks so much for making time for us today. Also, guys, brand new CJ show is out this morning where he goes into further depth on this. But we really wanted to have you on because honestly, you give us depth that no one else can, and it had been a while too.
It has been a while, and I got to get back in studio at some point because I love seeing you guys and the energy when we're face to face.
You know what we'll do? We'll do something pre-Olympics. How's that sound?
That sounds good. As
Okay.
long as the baby doesn't come early, I'm in.
All right. Beautiful. Well, CJ, best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, boys.
You know, we talk about teams that don't have a deep bench. You know who does? Fanatics. And Jesse, Jesse, it's a shame that you don't show off your Fanatics gear more often.
Oh, yeah. Right now, anybody listening, I am rocking some winter classic gear from Fanatics for Florida. They have the scarf that says South Florida, and I got the toque on as well with the Florida Panthers logo on it. It's great stuff.
And Steve Dangle is wearing the elevated Lululemon collection because not everybody wants a big logo all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little logo.
I just got a little one and also a splitting headache because Jesse elbowed me the moment he put that on.
Wow. No, I bet he won't apologize for it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Listen, whether your fandom is in people's faces or a little bit more subtle, that's okay. Fanatics has got it for you. And here's the thing. This Lululemon collection is available in all 32 teams. So if you love it, you can get it for any team that you want, including multiple teams for the same household, which I know a lot of families are split down the middle with who they're cheering for. Jesse will not apologize for his elbows, nor his fandom.
I will not.
And you should give NHL Fanatics gear a chance. Fanatics, the ultimate destination for NHL gear, including official jerseys, hats, tees, and the brand new Lululemon NHL collection combined for premium comfort and subtle team pride for all 32 clubs. Shop the entire NHL world, an elevated Lulu collection line. Sorry, I couldn't say that right. Fanatics.com. You know, I think it's fitting that we ended the segment on
Whining about
the Leafs because we got to talk about them. And Pens fans will be upset because we led the show with the Penguins' failures, but we are here to talk about the Leafs' failures too, because they also gave up a lead to San Jose and then did it again to the Oilers. And, you know, much like the Penguins, the Leafs absolutely fell to pieces in a way that felt Montreal-ish from 3 weeks ago. Just, you know, they had a 2-1 lead. It was 3-2 by the end of the second period. And they just said, you know what? What if we stop playing?
it was, I got mad. Like the Sharks one was one that got away. It was a real vibe killer. Like they were doing really well.
They played a good game.
Like, no, not even just the game. Like they had a really good week and a half. They were playing really well. You look like you're playing really well against the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
You blow it. All right, now let's get it back on track.
Yep.
For 40 minutes, it looked like they did. Like McDavid pants them 3 different times. But outside of the best player in the world looking like the best player in the world, I'm like, they're right in this. They allowed a goal with 31 seconds. Well, they scored on their own friggin' net. We'll start there. But like shit happens.
Yep.
Then the best player in the world sucks 3 players to his side of the ice. Nurse is wide open. You pass it to him and he blasts it, which he's definitely capable of. You're still in it. They showed up for work at the beginning of the third period like they hated nothing more in the entire world than hockey. I don't know what it was. Like, the Oilers score quick. And you're like, oh, fuck my life. All right. Well, damn. All right. Pick it up. Pick it. Okay. No, like, so get it out of the zone. Okay, they got it out. That was good. They got it out of the zone again. It's spending a lot of time in their zone. And they're only chipping it out. And now it's 5-2. And what are you doing? They didn't play.
Well, I thought I was ringing alarm bells on that first McDavid goal because the Leafs defense just sort of got out of his way. It was crazy. If you
OEL
watch that,
was confused. He thought the puck was somewhere else on that play. And then Riley just got completely beat.
Yeah, they look like shit. McDavid absolutely
Torched them.
loves playing against Morgan Riley.
Yeah. We can watch the NHL Edge goal visualizer here just to see how embarrassing it is. But OEL here thinks the puck's going out to this side of the ice, and you can see if we show the actual replay, him kind of look that way and be totally confused. But McDavid just goes right by him, and then Riley actually just gets beat.
So
trying to protect
Morgan,
everything.
Riley and OEL look bad in this play. Can you go back to the beginning?
the pass.
Nick
Nick Waugh.
There was a bad play from Robertson. Maybe it wasn't this one.
Well,
Yeah, maybe it's not.
This is just the first goal. But regardless of, this was an embarrassing thing. And I want to pay particular attention to the post-game comments because, Jesse, you were there for these. And one of them, I'd like to play Scott Laughton's first if we could. Because Scott Laughton, for me, is quickly becoming a... First off, I fucking love this player, and I think I'm going to get his jersey.
What?
And CJ did point out to me, hey, he's an unrestricted free agent. And I was like, I think the Leafs, if they're going to build anything, they need this guy.
The Leafs with like 4 minutes to go in the third of a period at home, they've been losing the entire time. We're getting outshot like 11-1.
Yeah.
And the only thing that turned it around was, one, the Oilers stopped playing. And two, Berube put together this line that was like the all give a shit line. I'm just going to start playing the players who give a shit. Now, he couldn't play them every shift.
Yeah.
But I wish he did.
Well, I think we were a little hard on Nylander on Friday because he's been sick. And I think, and Berube even said after the game, he only played him 13 minutes. He's like, there was no point in throwing him out there in that. He couldn't.
He took the ice. The schedule doesn't stop.
Yeah, but I think you can make allowances for somebody that has the flu. I think you can. I think you have to. I think
allowances are for players who don't so routinely look that way, aren't bratty with their head coach. Like all the Willie Aura stuff is real cute when you're winning. When you're losing, it makes you look a bit like an asshole. So, like,
yeah,
I know,
but he is sick on this one, and I get you. But I think we have to let's call a spade here, right? In any other game, even if they're losing like that, Willie's playing 18 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes. He's played 13,
18 minutes where he might look like a star, or he might not look.
And I agree with you, but he is clearly sick. As is Dakota Joshua. Matthias Michelli missed practice today. Right. I mean, there's something going around.
Sure.
So that one we have to give. Now, Scott
Laughton, team in the NHL like that.
Jesse Blake, Scott. Yes, we do. We do. We give other people allowances.
No, well, they're the only team that goes through anything. Have you noticed that? They're the only team that ever goes through anything.
I am willing to give him that. And I agree with you on all the other points that you made.
You know what? You earn your allowances, and he spent them.
Okay, fair enough.
He had a great start, and he's been spending them like crazy. So.
That's fair. Now, Scott Laughton says this, Jesse.
Scott, if you explain what happened in the third period.
Well, it's hard to understand. Just have to be better. We have to be better managing games in certain situations. You see those guys. You know how good they are in moments, and then it can turn on you that quick. And we just got to know. It's we don't have to make the perfect play every shift. It's It's a 60-minute game for a reason. You got to wear the team down and go the other way, play north, make them come 200 feet. I don't think we did enough of that.
How much did their speed play a factor?
Well, we played into their speed too. So it's you can limit them a little bit. And obviously, they got two of the best players in the world, right? So, but you can make it harder on them, getting up and down the ice. But yeah, we need to be better in every area of the game, and it's just not good enough.
Was effort an issue tonight in your mind?
I don't know if effort. I think sometimes when things go a little bit south, you start standing and watching, and they make it look like that too sometimes when some of their guys get going. So pick ourselves up and pick up some points here at home. We got to start pushing, have some urgency, and get going.
Jesse, did anyone rush in and cut him off? Because that was far too insightful and interesting and honest for the Leafs. I think, you know what? Can we get this guy out of here? That's not a Leaf. That's not a Leaf. No, you got to be
still a Flyer.
Yeah, that was Flyer. That was a Flyer talking. That was way too interesting and way too honest.
I know what you mean, because Scott Laughton slowly is becoming one of the best quotes that the Leafs can deliver, because he thinks about what he's going to say, and it's not just regurgitated hockey blurbs. You know, he's actually trying to give some insight into what happened and what they can do better. And I think that's why guys love him around the locker room. He's the ultimate team guy, and it comes through in his press conferences. He's a great quote.
I also just love watching him play. Like, he plays the game the right way every night. And is he a perfect player? No. But anybody that's watching Scott Laughton's shifts and going, this guy's bad and the Leafs shouldn't have got him, sorry, I just can't take you seriously. This is a player that clearly gives a shit, wants to be here, plays great defensively, has had some great opportunities, has finally injected an identity and some life into that fourth line. And you see how important that is for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year to have that, with especially the Matthews line struggling, which we're going to get to.
They're nothing without him.
They're nothing.
It's crazy.
And the team is nothing without him. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I look at that Scott Laughton quote, I'm like, that carries some weight. The other one, Jesse, and I don't know if we want to play Berube or if you want me to just read your quote on it.
I can play it.
Okay, let's play it. The one about the team leaders, because this has been something I think that, Steve, when you talk about William Nylander, for instance, right, spending his goodwill, I think this is what you're talking about. And I think that it's more than just Willie. I think Morgan Riley's in there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Austin Matthews is in there. But we've got to...
Tavares has not spent his goodwill, but that hot start's gone, eh?
Well, here we go. Here, listen to what Craig Berube has to say.
We might have to listen to a little bit of it because I don't have it queued up, but here we go.
Well, 30 seconds to go in the second period, we throw a puck blind to the slot. And first of all, they should have changed, but they don't.
Oh, maybe that was the Robertson one.
We get caught on the wrong side of it and give up a goal late in the second period after playing pretty well for 2 periods. It's not smart hockey. And then the third period, a lot like San Jose game, I didn't feel we came out and took control of the period. We let them dictate how it was going to play. Puck play wasn't good. Didn't kill any plays. So that's basically the game.
You've got 2 great players, obviously, that cover a team domination in front of the net, especially in the third period. They got those 2 killer goals.
Yeah, for sure. We weren't hard enough around our net, 100%.
How much did their speed affect the game?
Well, they're quick. I mean, I thought we handled it pretty well for 2 periods. They're going to get their opportunities with speed for sure. But I thought for 2 periods, we did a pretty good job. But third periods, it's been 2 games in a row at home where we come out and we look flat. So that's the bottom line for me. It's whatever it is, we should have been coming out and dictating how we're going to play that period and the way we wanted to play it, and we didn't do it.
Going forward.
I don't know. I mean, I talked to the team after the game, and it's, our leaders got to take control of it a lot more than they are right now. And, to me, it's all a mindset, whether you're down a goal, we're up in the San Jose game, like you just got to have more urgency and being more directed on how we want to play. We didn't do it in the third period, 2 games in a row.
So let's pause it there. And I want to pull those up. So I will throw you on that. I think when he says something like that, that is a pretty significant thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like Sheldon Keefe would never have been allowed to say something like that.
Keefe would have done it more emotionally and then had to apologize.
Yeah. I think what's happening here is this is a team that, like I've been saying since the beginning of the season, they're too talented to play like this.
Way more.
And I know that there have been injuries. I know Artur Akhtiamov was the 5th goalie now, and this is 10 or 11 weeks into the season.
5th goalie, 10D. It's crazy.
Crazy. That's crazy. The reality of the situation is that I'm still watching Austin Matthews look off shots that he would always take.
Mm-hmm.
They're still not sure who's going to play the right wing for them, which has now changed again today. And I know Steve's going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I'm just, and one of the criticisms I always had for John Tavares, guys, was yes, he could play great. The hot start was awesome, whatever. But when it comes to a moment when you need to be an emotional animal,
yeah,
John is going to fall short on that. That is not what he does. And that is why I felt like it was time for a change at captain.
To each their strengths, that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
You've been saying that for like half a decade, yeah.
And it's not because I love that man. Yeah. Like, build a statue in his honor. The fact that he wanted to stay here is amazing. The fact that he's playing as good as he is at his age is amazing. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, who's the dog? Who's the Max Scherzer? Who's the Miles Straw? I'm comparing to the Blue Jays. Who is like, so, and I say Max Scherzer and I say Miles Straw for 2 different reasons. Max Scherzer's a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best pitchers to ever play in Major League Baseball, and a complete psychopath. Dog. Miles Straw is a guy that kind of pinch runs and plays the odd Saturday or Sunday game when they've got, 2 games within a 24-hour period because they got a Saturday night and a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. They
right?
don't have anyone you have to talk down.
This team, that's a great way to put it. This team is what everybody accused Timothy Liljegren of.
Damn.
There is, when the time gets tough, they're soft around the net.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get angry. And they take losses too easily. And, when we talk about Timothy Liljegren, people say, well, if there was some bite in that game, if there was some anger in that game, Justin Hall, same thing. If there was some anger there, we talked about Justin Hall, like, you're big for what? You don't throw the body.
Even Hall would at least fight and get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he was not
on occasion. He wasn't good, but he'd do it.
This team seemingly, you see spurts of it. And I say this with Marner here too, right?
Sure.
You'd see spurts of, this is what this team could be if they would just commit to it. And we've been saying that for years.
Mm-hmm.
At their best, you're like, that's got to be a team eventually that breaks through. And I don't think they're in a Stanley Cup window right now. I'm not kidding myself.
No.
But I look at this and I go, this team should be a playoff team automatically. I know they've had injuries. I know that. But I feel like there's a mentality problem here that has persisted. And I'm wondering, as you said, Steve, who's the guy that gets so friggin' ragey after something like that they have to go, yo, buddy, you need to calm down.
I'll give you a name. Michael Bunting.
Well, they wanted him out.
Michael Bunting was the guy they had to calm down, and like, he was nuts. He was like really, really emotional. And they wanted him gone. And now they got nothing. Kadri, listen, it was a bad trade.
Mm-hmm. I'll defend Dubas making the trade, though.
Yeah, anyone who says
All
that
day.
deal didn't need to be made it's revisionist cope.
Yeah. Had they made a good deal there, you wouldn't say that.
He cost you 2 series.
Yes.
Then, and no one ever includes this part, then he went to Colorado all right, he won a Stanley Cup. No, he cost them a series. Then they won the Stanley Cup.
Yes. Which I found it hilarious when he put up that Instagram photo later and been like, see, this is all the people that doubted me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, Nas. people had some reasons. I love Nas, but people had their reasons.
Yeah, well, like he wins the cup and then he goes into a microphone on Hockey Night in Canada. He goes, anyone who called me a playoff liability could kiss my ass. It's the equivalent of me going, Kobe, brick, Kobe, brick, Kobe, brick, Kobe, dink, 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 dunk. It goes in and I go, see?
Yeah. Or somebody says, this is for anyone who said I was emotional.
Yeah.
Steve Dangle.
Yeah. For like it wasn't that you weren't good enough. You were one of the top 3 principal reasons your team lost 3 years running.
2 different teams.
2 different teams. And then you went, check me out.
So
what?
So this is the thing with the Leafs, though, is like who is you to use the Bob McKenzie phrase? Who's the straw that stirs the drink on this team?
Literally
I think it's Scott Laughton. I think it's Scott Laughton.
Straw Laughton.
I think that's a problem. I think when
he should be one of the guys, not all of the guys.
Yeah, I think when you're
straw.
like, we're talking 7th best forward in terms of like pure skill on paper, like the guy who's probably on your 3rd or 4th line is your emotional leader. That's probably not good.
So one of the years the Leafs had Wayne Simmons, and I don't remember which one it was. They were doing really well. He got hurt, and they went on a bit of a slump. And one of the things they talked about was like, yeah, well, we miss him on the bench. Like they miss him as an emotional leader on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's years later. They've changed all this personnel. They've gotten rid of all the dedicated babysitters that this team has gone through over the years. And, for all the... there's too much emotion around this team, and there is not nearly enough emotion around the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think all the emotion is around the Toronto. Maybe what if Toronto looks psychotic because these guys are Xanax incarnate,
and we're the ones freaking out.
Like
that's why Toronto looks crazy, because the players are cool as a cucumber about it, and fans are freaking out, going, "Wait a second, I can't be the only one that sees this, right?"
These guys are horse tranquilizer with arms and legs. Like, what if it's that? Nothing bothers that. I would like for things to start bothering the Leafs, actually.
Can I give you guys 2 stats I was looking at after the Leafs blew another lead and fell in this game? And it seems like it's a trend. And we're talking about Pittsburgh blowing all these leads, but Toronto does it just as much. I got 2 stats for you guys.
Give it to us.
Good.
Win percentage for the Leafs when entering the first intermission with a lead.
Oof. Well, the second period's been god-awful. I'm going to say, Jesse, 521%.
I am going to...
0.521. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's they're 500.
That's exactly it.
Oh,
they are
wow.
500 in a win percentage when entering the first period with a lead. So far this season, they are 6-4-2.
Like, okay.
So that ranks them 29th in the league. The only teams below them are the Blackhawks, who are also 500 in their win percentage, the Blues, who are 417, and the Kraken, who are 333, which is disgusting. But for me, that's like disastrous, right? You're 29th. Yes. It gets worse when you look at when they enter the second intermission with a lead, because you go there and you sort it by win percentage when leading into the second intermission.
Right.
The Leafs there rank 32nd in the league and have only a 583 win percentage when entering the second intermission with the lead. They're 7-3-2. That is the worst mark in the National Hockey League.
That's how much of a slam dunk it needs to be, by the way, to win a game that you're leading heading into second intermission. They're the worst team in the league. 7-3-2.
Yes. The majority of NHL games, when a team enters the third period with a lead, 80% of the time they walk away with a win.
If every 12 games the Leafs were 7-3-2, they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They do fine. But they're the worst team in the league. That's how much of a slam dunk it has to be. And this is why what was the word you used for Willie? Assurances? No. Allowances?
Allowances.
This is why I just don't give them any allowances. Like, well, they're sick. Well, that's the excuse that's built in this time. But they've been doing this all year. So I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care what's sore or what bug they have or what. Do all the other teams that you play have an unfair advantage, yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
You don't play a full game. You never score on the power play. I went and looked at the Marlies, like, just for fun. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if they were, like, awesome? I have horrible news. They're last in their division.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs have scored 11 power play goals all year. So have the Marlies. Combined, they have 22.
That
they have an organizational
is last. The total goals on the power play thing for the Leafs, that's last.
This last.
Yes. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's
well, I keep asking on the streams, like, okay, so all of these losses are kind of clouding the fact that the power play's been anemic, and I just kind of wonder how long can an assistant coach last when you've got 2 years in a row where the power play's ice cold. Now, this was the time last year when the power play picked up. It was literally midway through December, right?
Yeah, rough.
And I was still going hard on it.
Probably a little earlier.
I think it was early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
We're getting late December.
Yeah,
real quick.
like last year, you felt like, well, they could. This year, I just don't know. And it seems like they don't know. Every game, we've got a different power play setup. You know, one day Nyes is on. One day we're doing all 5 forwards. Nobody can defend. It's like we got to ask the question again: is this guy the right guy?
Do you want to talk about
who the assistant coaches
Savard.
or
Is Savard the right guy?
I don't believe like it's the right move to have him there as the assistant coach, because clearly there's enough evidence that it doesn't work. But you're never going to get an assistant coaching change, I think, in
just the assistant.
You never see it.
The NFL does it. Like, they fire coordinators all the time, but in the NHL is just not a thing.
And you know what? It should be a fucking thing.
But I think you play out the string with Savard because I don't think there's a precedence for that.
By the way, the Leafs, from their assistant coaches, Jesse, hemorrhaged 2 great coaches of the last 2 years, Lane Lambert and Spencer Carberry. Both of them. Carberry had an unbelievable power play, although it did go a little dead in the playoffs, but some of the guys were out. Lane Lambert was unbelievable with defense last year. Unbelievable.
And
they can't play. They're not great.
Those guys got jobs because they're really good, right?
It should be pointed out that the Leafs defense less so, but penalty kill has been much better.
It's been spectacular. You know why? Scott Lawton's back.
Scott Lawton. David Alter posted the Leafs power play configuration today.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Nylander, Tavares, Matthews, nice.
Yeah. For me,
what are we doing?
The 60-minute effort thing, it's so clear. And I don't know.
Do you think the effort died in the third? I mean, you saw it in person. Is that how you felt?
So,
was
like,
it effort?
Effort's such a tough word, because I think, unlike Steve, believe that when these guys who are on the ice for the Leafs are out there, they want to win the game.
Did they try harder than the others?
I think they want to win the game. They're professional athletes who reach this level because they are competitive, and they're all out there giving their best effort. But something stops them mentally from doing the right things in the execution to win the game.
So it's details for you.
I think that's a lot of it. But whether that comes from, like, you're not skilled enough, like, I can really make the argument that just the guys they have there are just not skilled enough to execute in the proper ways to hold leads. I think that just might be true. And if this season goes the way it is, that could just be the end result, and that this team just doesn't have the good enough players to get to where we think they should be. And the injuries are a factor in that, because you're using 10 defensemen, you're using 5 goaltenders. The guys you're running out there aren't NHLers at the end of this. Like, some of these are second pairing Marlies who you're running out there. And that's a skill gap between Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse on the other side of the ice. So there is that. And then there's the mental side of it, of you not taking care of the details anymore once the game gets away from you even a tiny bit. So it's a combination of everything.
Now, no quotes have been released at the time we're doing this show, but, like, it kind of looks like Tanev's back.
Really?
It looks like he's going to be back tomorrow, like, based on the pairings in order listed by David Alter are Riley Benoit, God save us, McCabe Stetcher, OEL Tanev, and then Thrun Myers. That kind of looks like Tanev's coming back.
That's good.
It is good. And he's also mixed up the lines a lot.
That could solve a lot of problems. Yeah, let's go through these lines. The forward lines are interesting.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold, but yeah. Nyes, Matthews, Nylander, Robertson, Tavares, McMahon, Joshua, Waugh, Domi is the wing, Lorentz, Lawton, Cowan. Extra is Yarncroke, and obviously Michelli is sick.
Don't get Cowan on the fourth line, but the fourth line's been a good factor, so okay.
Tanev isn't playing, by the way.
Oh, he's not?
David Alter says, Tanev calls his current situation fluid, but nice to get back to a full practice. Craig Berube says he won't play tomorrow. Asked if he would return before Christmas. He wouldn't commit to a timeline.
Did Berube say who would?
No.
Of course not. Okay, great. Thanks for that, Craig. Nyes, Matthews, Nylander.
I think that's Craig Berube finally admitting I need my two best players to get going. And maybe they need to find each other.
I don't know about Nyes, Matthews as a duo. I'm starting to question it.
Okay, tell me why.
They don't connect with each other nearly enough. They're both hardworking, defensively responsible. Like, they're similar in a lot of ways. I think the way they play the game, on the back half of the ice, I see them as very similar players, and I like them together on the PK when they're out there together. With Domi, I see a player who's always looking for Austin. And with Nyes, sometimes I think he just tries to Leroy Jenkins everything. And let's do this. And I'm just going to bull in a china shop, go through everyone. And it works an alarming percentage of the time.
But maybe that's better suited with a Tavares?
That's kind of what I'm wondering. It's less about let's try Nyes and Tavares and more about, like, okay, Matthews hasn't really been going at full tilt all season long.
No, and he doesn't have the puck much.
No, and the consistent thing has been Nyes. This isn't a criticism of Nyes. I just would like another look. Nylander, Matthews, yeah, okay, fine. But I don't know. I'm not overly sold about it.
I don't know why you break up the third line. That for me doesn't make any sense. Like, I would like to see Domi with Tavares because he's got speed on the wing. And McMahon's got speed on the wing too, but the Joshua Waugh McMahon thing worked. It's working. Why change it?
So Robertson and McMahon have good chemistry. They find each other. So I understand it, but I think I agree with you. I'd rather have Domi up there. And then you have McMahon. Like, your bottom six has been great.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I would side with McMahon on the right of Waugh and Joshua, and then Lorentz, Lawton,
like
Cowan.
That's the perplexing thing about Craig Berube hockey for me is it's like he finds something that works in the lower end and goes, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. And you know, it was like with Domi. Domi played, guys, 6 weeks as a center? And the entire 6 weeks, everybody who watched the game, you didn't even need to show them the stats. Everybody's like, he doesn't work there.
It's absolutely horrible.
Up and down the lineup does not work. Berube's like, no, we're going to do that. You could have played, you know, I know Waugh was out for a little bit, but with Lawton gone, you could have played Lorentz at center. He does a fine job.
I don't
understand.
I think my faith in Craig Berube, like, I'm not saying he gets fired now, and I'm not saying he gets fired during the season, but like, my faith in him, I think, is irreparable. Like, I'll never
trust
this guy again.
No? Jesse, do you feel that way?
Trust him for which side of it?
Do you think he's
making good decisions?
Do you think he's the right guy for this team?
As it's currently constructed, I don't think he has the players to play the type of hockey that he wants to play. I think if you look at this forward group and you're ranking them amongst the other 31 teams, it's towards the middle bottom half. And I don't think he has enough pieces to put together a team that can be competitive in the way that he thinks is conducive to good playoff hockey.
Got it.
Whew. Ooh. Domi's been playing very different. Like, that third line could be great. You know, McMahon always gets shots in the top six, and it never really works out. It'd be great if he like grabbed a hold of it. I don't know. I think it's It's a coach just button mashing right now.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. As far as goaltending goes, it was nice to see Joseph Woll did take the ice. Don't know if he's going to be back, but fingers crossed that happens soon. No disrespect to Akhtiamov, and Hildeby's been playing great. I think they made the right call in pulling Hildeby in the third.
Yeah, that was an admission that he's played a lot of hockey. Yeah, that he was a little tired. Craig Berube said it as well in his postgame a little later. We didn't get to those comments, but it's in there. And Hildeby wasn't responsible for that loss. That's a team loss on that. And he's never played this amount of hockey in his life. It's good to give him just that extra 20 minutes or whatever it was off and let him regroup for Chicago tomorrow, which you look at that loss on Edmonton on Saturday, and I wonder if the guys didn't take that game seriously enough because of the matchup that they have on Tuesday. And I think that's a lot of the problem that the team has. It's getting up for the right games. And
Connor McDavid on Hockey Night in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding?
So you have the game Saturday. It's in the middle of a homestand. And then if you pick up the win on Tuesday against the Blackhawks, a team that's not going to have Bedard, everything kind of looks good, and it's better. You're happy after that win. The fans, everybody's cool. They're back on track and everything. So you kind of don't have the right mentality going into that Oilers game, and you might slip up and give up a lead there. So I wonder if there's a little schedule watching there, because it might be an easy pickup win on Tuesday.
I'll tell you an easy. I'm going to remortgage my house. Nick Lardis made his NHL debut the other day. He hasn't scored a goal yet.
Hey,
we all know what's happening.
You know else is ice cold on the Blackhawks?
Who?
Frank first line center Nazar.
Yeah, but it's not his first NHL game.
No, I know, but I'm just saying Nazar's gonna kick off his next hot streak against the Leafs.
He can set up Lardis.
And by the way,
Tyler Bertuzzi anytime.
Oh yeah, book it, man, book it. By the way, Bedard is it's looking like the shoulder, probably a separated shoulder. They haven't said that, but he will be reevaluated in early January.
That sucks so much. Face off with 0.8 seconds.
Joseph Woll, I forgot to say this. Original diagnosis was 1 week. Oh, he'll be out a week. It's been more than a week. I said originally when he went out, I was like, oh, probably won't see him till the new year. We're running up on 2 weeks here, and then it's going to be Christmas and the Christmas break, and then the games after the Christmas break. That week timeline is no longer true. Thanks, Toronto.
Yeah,
we need to start actually writing this down.
They're liars.
Don't you think? I think we should write this stuff down.
Here, his last game was December 4th.
Yeah, it's the 15th.
It's 11 days ago. You bunch of liars.
Yep.
Yeah.
If he misses the next one, that'll be 2 weeks.
Your team doesn't
That's 100% more of the time you gave us.
So you're always like, oh yeah, full 60, full 60, full 60. So full 60. So the games, we know the scheduled game is 60 minutes, right? So if you can't do a full 60, that means your team does not try. You outright lie to the fans. What are you selling me other than I'm an asshole that will just give you money?
I'm worked up again.
No, they're a jet. No. They have
digressing, and then we.
I do got to take aim at.
Oh no!
It's not necessarily Keith Pelly. It's not. But they have failed so objectively at something they were trying to do heading into the season,
which is
being likable.
Outreach
and being like, so you tried to become likable by assembling a team that doesn't try, and you lie to the fans. Fuck you. What are you doing?
Can I ask you a question, guys? All right. Serious question. I'm going to the January 1st game. Okay.
Why?
Because I got a free
Why?
ticket. I got a free ticket.
I'm going to the December 23rd game.
Why,
for my kid and no other reason. I am not paying to watch the Leafs right now.
So my question to you guys.
What?
Joseph Woll, January 1st. Will he have, I don't know, I don't need him to play January 1st. Will he have played?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say yes.
He's on a timeline where he's going to return, hopefully by the end of
Okay.
Yeah.
Will Anthony Stolarz...
I'll admit that I was wrong.
Will Anthony Stolarz has practiced by that point?
No.
Holy shit. Are you serious? You guys are that confident?
No. Stolarz is in Narnia.
Is he going to play ever again? Like, what the fuck?
It's John Mulaney has this bit about an airline. I can't remember which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel watching the Leafs. I show up And they're like, nice jersey, fat. And I'm like, hey, man. And they pull down my pants and I go, hey. And they go, you're a little bitch, huh? And I go, no. And they're like, say it. And I'm like, I'm a little bitch. And they're like, that's right.
Now give me all your money.
Now give me all your money. I said, give me all your money. That's how I feel as a Leafs fan. It's absolutely horrible. The Raptors seem like they have the best day of their life every day of their lives. The Blue Jays seem like every day is better than the last. And then there's the Leafs. You know that meme where there's the guy looking out the window at the sun and the other guy depressingly looking at the inside of a tunnel?
Yeah.
I live my life in perpetuity looking at the inside of the tunnel as a Leafs fan. And I feel like a certain almost like responsibility to the fan base as the guy who has to watch every game. You don't need to do this. None of the rest of you need to do this. You can take a break. And I would encourage you to. My son wants to see a game. He doesn't ask for much. He asks for one game a season. We're taking him. You will not see me in that building again. And trust me, if I am in there after this, you can be like, what happened? I'll be like, I didn't pay.
Hey, we got to record a podcast from Scotiabank last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the ref's dressing room.
That was really cool. Why are you diminishing that?
Yeah, and was it because of the Leafs?
No, it was Amazon.
No, it was because of Amazon.
Oh my goodness.
What, am I supposed to thank them for something they never gave me?
Amazon was great.
Amazon was awesome. No, when we walked in the room, Andy Petrillo grabbed me by the nose and went, and then she pinched my nipple and said, attaboy, clown boy. And I went, that's not very nice. And then John Forsling punched me in the balls.
Oh my goodness.
By the way,
that's a lot.
We'll end on this.
Thomas Hickey's like...
No, we'll end on that.
Adam,
what's that? And he pointed at my chest and then he went like that and did the finger thing and was like, stupid.
Adam, are you sitting with Keith Pelly?
Am I sitting with him?
On the January 1st game?
No, I don't think so.
Ted?
Yeah, probably. Ted and Tony. Tony Staffieri, CEO of Rogers.
Okay.
No.
And you go, Keith, how was your holidays? And then he looks over at you and wordlessly spits in your popcorn. And that's the end of your exchange. Welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nothing is good.
I should mention to you guys, because we need to end the show, but we don't have time to break it down so much. But
sure.
The thing that everybody assumed was happening is now happening. Kevyn Adams is no longer the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres.
Breaking news.
Jarmo Kekalainen is as of 1 minute ago.
Wow.
And the reason
we caught it.
Yeah, we did.
We caught it.
We couldn't make we couldn't say that earlier. Or they couldn't make the change earlier. Was because Jarmo was in Finland because his father passed. So,
that's very sad.
Yeah, very, very sad. So they had to kind of wait. But something happened over the weekend. And I'm not exactly sure what. And everybody's known about this for 72 hours. But it has now officially happened.
Is he fired or ushered off to some other job in the organization?
That's a good question. I think it'd be awkward to fire your neighbor. So I would imagine that
the reason Kevyn Adams has a job is because him and Terry are just buds. And
T-Dog.
He really likes him. And Kevyn Adams worked in the business side of the Pagula Enterprises and the Sabres. And he ran the youth hockey program, or I think that was...
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, I like this guy.
I'm going to make an okay job with that.
Yeah.
What?
I heard he did an okay job with that.
Yeah, he was really good at that. And then Terry Pagula was like, I like this guy. I'm going to make him GM of my team. And it's been a disaster during his tenure. Right. So ding dong, the witch is dead. I hope Sabres fans are cheering for this moment because we could finally have this franchise turn around and be a good franchise that they deserve to be because Buffalo's such a good hockey market.
And you know what I love about this too for Buffalo is Jarmo won so many playoff series with Columbus and tried to make Patrick Laine into a center. I'm so pumped for them to listen. At least they made the playoffs.
No,
at least Columbus made the playoffs
because at least you have a person who knows how to do the job doing the job. That's the bare minimum of somebody who should be employed to do a job. And Kevyn Adams wasn't even that. Jarmo Kekalainen is a professional who can do this job. And Kevyn Adams was not.
The one thing I'll say, because I praise...
Tortorella's going to Buffalo, by the way.
Oh my God, that'd be
I hope not.
Tortorella's going to Buffalo.
First of all, no.
Yes, he is.
I hope not.
Yes.
God, Now that's
You
all
know
I
it.
want
You
in
know
the
it.
world.
You know
I
what's
didn't
happening.
know this existed a few seconds ago, and now it's the only thing I want. I don't want my next breath as much as I want John Tortorella to be the head coach of the Sabres. Are you kidding me? Listen, Jarmo has experience and honest to goodness knows what he's doing. They got to give him the ability to hire a couple folks, because I praised it at the time when they brought him in, because I'm like, listen, the Sabres need more minds and not fewer. So I hope Kekalainen's not just out there on his own. God, it's the fact that he's like actively grieving is such a really unfortunate part of all this. I hope they get him the help he needs to run a professional sports team.
Yes, and these things rarely happen when it's convenient. It just happens when it happens. So
Right. Yeah.
anyway, long story short, we got to wrap.
It looks like Kevyn Adams is relieved of his duties based on Terry Brugula's comments. He says, Kevyn Adams has been relieved of his duties as general manager of the Buffalo Sabres. I would like to thank Kevyn for his dedication and loyalty to the Buffalo Sabres. He's been a reliable presence, and we are appreciative of his enduring care and commitment. I personally wish him and his entire family all the best. So it looks like he's being ushered out of
And it's not an interim. Like, Jarmo's the guy now.
Yes, and he has been named general manager. Jarmo Kekalainen has, and he'll be overseeing hockey operations effective immediately. This is the right thing to do. It took way too long to get here. We all knew he should have never had a job, and they went on for this too long.
There's got to be a culture reset there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we know Jarmo's probably good until at least 2030, no matter how they do. They always hang on to these guys. So
Well, I mean, you can't. No, that's the thing. They didn't hang on to anyone. Remember Botterill?
do you know, by the way, do you want to hear a crazy stat?
Sure.
I do remember Botterill, to jump on that. And I'm sorry to
5
cut you off.
seconds?
Get ready for this. Get ready
Okay.
for this. This is the third GM in Sabres history with prior experience.
That's
What the
crazy.
fuck did you just say?
This is the third general manager in Buffalo Sabres history dating back 50 years that had prior general manager experience.
So do you see my point about like Jarmo as at least a person who can do this job?
Like a grown up?
Like a
But he has a resume. Yeah.
Yeah. The other guys didn't even have that.
Yeah.
This is a step up.
Holy shit. Why are they bad?
It's a good
Terry
question,
Brugula
Steve. Who
doesn't know
knows?
how to run a hockey team. He doesn't.
Kevyn Adams, according to the Sabre report, was 178, 196, and 42, a 478 points percentage. Good enough for 26 in the NHL over the course of his time.
That's honestly
who's
better
lower?
than I thought.
Yeah, what? Who's lower than him?
Well, over that time, team-wise,
I would think like the Sharks, Blackhawks.
Blackhawks,
Yeah.
Anaheim.
And look what those teams have to show for it. Really fun, exciting young teams that look like they're on the verge of making the playoffs.
Well, there's only so many towering defensemen one can draft. Honestly, I feel like they kind of need to do other things. But anyway, that's it.
Man.
That's it for us. You like Leafs hockey now? Not so bad, is it?
No,
Did you hear
it's
that?
still pretty bad.
There's rumors that they're trying to move Bo Byram to the Canucks to try and get Quinn Hughes. I was like,
Actually.
Yeah, they were in on
that
it.
was
They were in on
like
the trade.
amongst the things they were trying to dangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like how I, in like grade 3, tried to offer the cool kids my apple for their Dunkaroos. Yeah, I'll think about it.
It's going to take a little bit more here, fellas.
Holy shit.
Anyway, that's your story for today. Let's hit the extra. Oh, what a show. Lots of news. We didn't even really get to
Do
everything.
you have a stream tomorrow night or no?
I do.
Oh, fun.
Tuesday and Thursday this week. And tomorrow night's important because it's Joe Bowen night. And so whether they show that on TV or not, they should. Joe Bowen being honored tonight at Leafs Chicago Blackhawks.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.